redefining radio. This is where the fun begins. Introducing Greek.
Let me tell you something. Don't ever love more you than anybody else you love more.
Francis.
Because then you're squeezing your banana so hard every time you come in here, and then you're pounding it on the desk.
Jimmy.
We haven't had to pull it for quite a while, so we got to lube it up.
Let's get the party started. It's the Penthouse on Real Radio.
Yeah, let's get the party started on a hump day. What's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Radio. And of course, this show right here at the Penthouse. We love it when you hang out with us. And you have a lot of ways of doing that. You can call us. We have a toll-free number, 877-927-6969. You can send us a text message, 47142. Start that text off with Real Radio. That's how we receive it. We have a really cool talkback feature on the absolutely free iHeartRadio app. Just search for Real Radio 921. Click on that little microphone icon, and you can leave us a voice message. And, of course, you can email the guy to my left, Jimmy at realradio921.com. And good morning to you, Jimmy.
Hello, and good morning, Miss Francis.
Hi. Of course, yes. Hello, I am Franny. And we have, once again, hanging out with us, my co-host on Jason and Franny in the mornings on 98.7 The Gator. We have Jason. Hey, Jason.
Hi, it's
Hi.
me. Hello.
Hello. It's me. Are you the problem? It's
I
you?
am the problem. It's me.
We got a lot.
It's Taylor Swift, right?
No.
That is
me?
T
Okay,
Swift.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk some T Swift because she's causing some movement. We're going to talk about her today.
Again?
I know for a lot of guys.
Happens a lot.
We're going to talk about T Swift. It's business as usual. We do not have Greek with us. He is on vacation. We will have him back next week, but we still got all the goodies you're used to. The trifecta, this day in history, of course, what the Florida, and our prize giveaway. And we always got good stuff for you. Today, if you're interested, 11:45, we have a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin. So make sure y'all are tuned in. So what's going on? Hi, how's everybody's evening?
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Chilling, and here we are doing it all over again.
Here we
How about
are.
that, huh?
A little deja vu.
I
Groundhog
finished
Day.
the second season of Resident Alien, Franny.
Okay, now it's a Netflix show.
Yes,
right?
we've been talking about this over at the
We
Gator. Jimmy, we haven't, I don't
Yes.
think we brought it up over here yet.
I think Jimmy would enjoy it. I think it's his sense of humor.
It is my new favorite
Yes.
show. It is hilarious. It was produced by Sci-Fi Network. And usually the things that Sci-Fi Network produces are kind of hokey, kind of silly.
All right.
Or,
What, like Sharknado?
yeah, exactly. Like B/C level grade type stuff, which in and
You
of
knocking
itself.
Sharknado?
Listen, I sat through a marathon of it, so I like stupid. I do.
This is compared to that very well produced.
It is.
All right.
And it's
What's it
called
called
it's
again?
called Resident Alien.
Resident?
And it's
Who is the guy? Who's the main guy who plays
I've
him?
heard
'Cause
of it.
He looks so familiar to me, but I don't know what else he's been on.
I looked him up when we first
Yeah.
started watching it, and he's been in some other stuff that's
Okay.
not like highly recognizable.
Got it.
But it is the premise. It's an alien that lands on Earth to destroy Earth, but he has to take
that what
human
they're here
form
for?
immediately, and then he starts taking on human characteristics.
Yes, he has to learn how to be a human.
He has to learn how to be a human. He is absolutely hilarious. The humor that it's a mixture of just almost slapstick meets dry humor, and I absolutely love it. I finished the second season on
Okay.
Netflix yesterday. Third season in production on Sci-Fi, so you can watch it on Sci-Fi, but I don't have.
Yeah.
I cut the cord a long time ago, so I actually don't have Sci-Fi.
You have to wait till it goes on Netflix.
Gotta wait for it to come out on Netflix, but it is hilarious. It's funny, and I'm not going to ruin it. I know you just started watching it, Franny.
I did. I watched it like a few weeks ago. I got into it, and I'm so bad when it comes to television shows. I will start something else. So then it's like, what do I?
Same.
I have to share my time
Right.
with all these shows. So The Gentleman, I'm just sucked in with that one. That one's a Netflix one, and that's the Guy Ritchie show.
Oh, okay.
And there's one on Hulu that I've been really digging called Will Trent's. So I'm just like, I'm spreading my love around all three of those shows. So, which makes it better because I don't like when I finish a series too fast because I'm like, oh, that's it.
Well,
Now
that's
I'm
the
done?
thing, right? You binge and
Yeah.
because you can't wait.
Exactly.
And then you get through it so fast. That was the first thing was it when Game of Thrones came out? That's some number of years ago. Carla had seen like season 1 was on a DVD, right? And she just saw it like on the impulse aisle going out of Walmart one day. Picks it up, and then we start watching it. We binged the whole season in almost almost one night on a Saturday night, and then of course we got into it, and then we went from there. And then that was way back when it was just coming out, the first couple of seasons.
I'm one of the few, Jimmy, that I tried watching Game of Thrones, and I know it was such a huge hit. I just couldn't get into it.
Just because it's popular doesn't mean that everybody's going to like it. I mean, that's just as simple as that. I mean, there's plenty of things that have been popular out there. Oppenheimer was one. I mean, talk about a popular movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it.
But you
Really?
watched
Okay.
it. You watched. I mean, you sat through the whole thing,
Yeah.
and you weren't a fan.
Just wasn't for me. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a great movie, you know. So I mean, I don't want to take anything away from it. And the same thing with that. I mean, Game of Thrones was. If you're not into that type of adventure,
Which
and
usually
that type,
I am.
You know, then it's not going to be for you.
That's why I'm surprised. Usually I'm into that sort of thing. It was a swing and a miss for me. I don't
Maybe
know
it
why.
was too slow in the beginning for you, and
Could
that
be.
was
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing with me. I sat through a few
Not enough
episodes. I heard there's a lot of wieners eventually. No, or is it more boobs than anything else?
More boobs.
Okay,
Than, well, at least
all right.
from what I saw.
All right, maybe I'll give it a second go. Franny,
Amelia
to
Clarke
answer
has
your.
some nice boobs.
Oh yeah, all right. Maybe I'll give it a second go. Franny, to
Yes.
answer your initial question, the main character, Harry Vanderspiegel, is played by Alan Tudyk, Tudyk.
Okay.
I don't want to say doesn't have a storied career, but nothing here that's huge. He was in iRobot.
All right.
Which I thought was a pretty good movie. Firefly, the TV series, Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
So he's got some
he did
pretty good
VOs on
movies.
American Dad. He's got a
Okay.
history there. It's just not a huge, well-known history.
Yeah. All right. So, because I knew he looked familiar, but yes, this is my latest one. If you have not seen it yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend The Gentleman. If you like that kind of Guy Ritchie, he was Snatch, right?
Yes.
Yes, that was him, and that kind of flick. British too, though. So sometimes, at least like I remember with Snatch, it was Irish and British, and they made it so hard to understand what the hell was going on.
That's the only bad part about a lot
Yes.
of those. Or you need
You
the
can
subtitles.
understand this.
Have the subtitles on, and then you're a little bit better off.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you, whatever his name is, Theo something, the main character on the show, is a dream.
So this just dropped,
Way
right?
to rope me in.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, I think I remember seeing something on Netflix about it, but I haven't clicked on it yet. So.
No, it's good stuff. And so speaking of things that dropping on a Wednesday, Jimmy, I know you have some random facts for today.
Here's
for a
some
Wednesday.
random facts for you. Now, we do fun facts, and that's Franny's
do.
little gig, but this is just some odd stuff that I see every now and then, and I like to share them because they're interesting to me. They might be interesting to you. How about this? Like, Idaho has the only U.S. state seal that was designed by a woman. Pretty nice. Just a fun little fun fact that it was designed by Emma Edwards Green in 1891. Some of these other things too that just puts into perspective how much distance is between things. So to give you a perspective here, Texas obviously is a huge state, right? Texas is so big that El Paso is closer to San Diego than it is to Houston. A small city named Texarkana, which you might have heard.
Yep, absolutely.
Smoking the Bandit, right, is the reference there. It's in the northeast corner of the state. Is closer to Chicago than it is to El Paso. It's kind of weird when you hear stuff like that, and then you look at it on a map, and it's true. Here's another random fun fact for you for Wednesday. One of the crew members who died in the Titanic was named Joseph Dawson, and on his tombstone, his name is up there as J. Dawson. But James Cameron didn't know about him when he picked Jack Dawson as the name for Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Titanic.
Interesting.
Ever since then, Joseph Dawson's grave in Canada gets a lot more visits and followers. Half of the gold that's ever been found on Earth comes from the Witwatersrand Basin in South Africa. And
I
finally,
guess I know where we're going on vacation.
yeah, let's go to South Africa. And finally, the tradition of bridesmaids all wearing the same dress goes back to ancient Rome. They'd all dress up the same as the bride to confuse any evil spirits that showed up at the wedding to snatch her away.
So they're like, take the bridesmaids,
That's
don't
why.
take the bride. Is that how that works
So
out?
Basically, they're just bait
They're sacrificial lambs.
That's exactly what it is.
in more than one way.
What have you? Is it Colombia where they have known for a while about this treasure, the sunken treasure ship that was down there, and they haven't been able to get it, but now they're going to go down, and I think with the help of the U.S. and some other
Really?
countries, and they say it's got crazy amounts of treasure and gold and jewels in there. Yep.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so that's something I just did. I heard, but I did want to ask the audience at 47142 because we like when you play along with us. It's an easy way to do it. Think about the worst day you had at work. And I mean, nobody else you don't think can top this, because there is a real estate agent who had a really bad day at work, Jason. And I don't know if you saw this story or not. I know Jimmy has, but I don't know how you come back from this. I don't know if you're ever going to get listings after this. Right?
No.
Oh.
You're done.
Yeah.
Your real estate days. Your job is done.
You are. You're done.
You have the story? Do you want me to
Yeah,
bring
go
it
ahead.
up? All right, so here you go. A real estate agent in Australia got in some hot water a while back. This happened a little while ago when she accidentally burned down a multi-million-dollar property to the ground while preparing for an open house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'd never heard of too many multi-million-dollar homes being rentals, but apparently this one was. It had renters in it at the time.
I don't think it's that uncommon.
And no, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Like, I would think of it if anything more, it'd be more like an Airbnb, or
Airbnb.
something
Sure,
like
okay,
that,
yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
use it as a vacation. And maybe that's what it was. But in this particular case, apparently what had happened is the renters that were there at the time, they had some laundry on the back that was drying out. And they were going to have an open house there, and a real estate agent came by, and they didn't want it to look cluttered, and so they moved that laundry downstairs, and they put it next to a lamp. Well, the bulb got hot, and it caught fire.
What kind of
and-
lamp are we talking?
Yeah, well, a regular incandescent light
Sure.
bulb can get
Yeah,
very hot,
but
right?
it-
And you put it next to it.
Wow.
What I don't understand is why they turned the light on. That's the part of the story that I can't make any sense of. I mean, it's almost like it was down in the basement apparently, so you wouldn't think that you would want to leave that on
Unless it's a finished basement that's
Yep.
got like, a man cave in it or something like that.
I don't know. I'm a little. The article is a little sketchy on that, but. Doesn't matter. The point is that she left it on or turned it on, and it caused those items to catch fire, and it burned the thing down.
Yikes.
So this happened a few years back, and the case was just decided in court, and the owner told a judge that the real estate agent admitted it was her fault, telling him, "Oh my God, I think I burnt down your house." Well, apparently so. She even suggested it was the betting that probably did it, and in the end, the court ruled that the real estate agent's negligence was at fault, saying she was actively creating the risk of fire and the consequences of what happened. The company she worked for was ordered to pay damages to both the homeowner and the renters who lost all their belongings in the fire. I mean, this place was gone right down to the studs. This thing was just burned to the ground. Didn't say how big it was, but it did say it was a mansion. So this thing had to be, at least... 3, 4, 5,000 square feet or something like that is what I'm picturing in my mind with it. But
Pretty bad day at work.
What was the worst thing that you ever did at your job that you got, that was your fault or something? And I'll give you an example of mine. There's that big Pratt Whitney place where they have all the different aeronautics.
Sure.
All right. And they
My dad
test
used to
the
work out there.
engines and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Dad
So
worked out there for 35 years.
There's actually, then you know it
Yeah.
enough to know there's like a bunch of different businesses that's within that compound, right? And there's security you got to go through to get in there and everything.
Heavy security, yeah.
Well, when I was first moved to Florida, I had my CDL license still, so I was delivering fuel for a company. All right, they're out of Pompano, and I was delivering diesel and gas to one of these companies that was there, and I put the wrong fuel in the wrong tank. So I put diesel into their gas tank by accident.
Damn, Jimbo.
So it was like 2,000, about $2,000 of fuel that, I mean, it's ruined. I mean, there's nothing you can do with it. So there's a company based out of Miami that'll come up and pump it out because they can use it in certain, burners. Like you can burn all kinds of fuel where it doesn't matter, right?
So it didn't completely ruin.
Well, it ruined all their fuel, so that all had to be pumped out and fresh. So, that was a long day for me. but it was my own fault.
So do they drain the tank, then clean the tank out, and then put new fresh fuel in there? Okay. Yeah.
You can just drain it out and just pump it out and be fine, and then put fresh in, and you're okay.
Got it.
I mean, a little bit. Like you can mix a little bit of gas and diesel together, but it has to be. There's a ratio. I don't remember what the ratio is, but it has to be a minor amount. And if you just pump it out, you get most of it out. You can refill it and be fine. But
Did you keep the job?
That was
Did
the
you get let go?
Yeah, no, I was fine.
Okay,
I
good.
kept my job.
Huh.
But unfortunately, that happened.
That
But
was a big whoopsie.
yeah,
$2,000 whoopsie.
That's a whoopsie. That's a neat place to go. So your dad, you said, worked there. I remember a couple times going there, and you hear the jets in the background with they're testing engines.
One
and
of my
stuff.
earliest memories. I had to have been 3 or 4 or 5 years old, something like that. They would have family days out at Pratt and Whitney. And my dad would bring the kids out, and we would see they're doing test flights and some of the new engines that they've been working on out there. So it was almost like a free air show just for the friends and family of the people that worked out there. I don't know if they still do it or not.
That's cool, though.
It was really cool. I remember.
I'm sure there's people listening right now who have people who work there, family or friends.
For sure.
Yeah.
There is, they had, and I don't know if this technology is still something that they use, but the water jet technology they would use to cut the sheet metal and everything.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
right,
they
right,
would, and on Family Day, they would take sheet metal and they would cut out little F-15, F-16, FA-18 kind of outlines in metal and give it to all the kids.
That's cool.
So I had a couple of those. I don't know if I still have one at my folks' house or not. I'll have to go over there and check or whatever. But I remember they would make little key rings just for the kids.
That's neat.
And it was just the coolest thing. I had such a blast. And ergo started my nerd alert for aeronautics and space and all of that.
Yeah. That's fun stuff. I love it.
Yeah. So speaking of little mementos that you have at your parents' house, what do you think? Oh, go ahead. Oh no,
I want to hear what was the worst thing
I've never
you
done
ever
anything
did?
wrong.
Oh, okay. How about Jason?
Was Monday maybe was the most recent thing where I showed up to work really hungover and pukes before?
Ops manager didn't
The
care.
Penthouse.
He said you're good. There was one thing that happened, and I think the statute of limitations is come and gone at this point.
Are we? Hey,
Is it with this
you wanna
company?
make sure of it
It
first?
was with this station,
Okay.
actually. How do I want to present this story? Okay. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, on a radio station that was not called Real Radio.
We heard about
Right.
something.
I had just started as an intern for a show that's not called the Dove Lochters. Yeah, and
this story?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I know.
But
a
before you
story.
start, in all fairness, you were an intern. You weren't getting paid, right?
Well, actually, at that point, I had just gotten hired on as
Okay.
a part-time phone screener.
Okay.
I think this is about as far as we can go. Franny, what's your story? No, go ahead.
I want to know. I gotta know.
So it was it was actually my first ever event. We were going to Melbourne to I can't believe I'm telling this on the air. We were going to Melbourne to Bear Assets to do an event.
What is Bear Assets?
I use your imagination, Franny.
Sounds like
It's,
somewhere where adults would entertain.
correct.
Got it.
And it's still in business, like a fine establishment. We were on our way up there. We were driving a Chevy Astro van. It was me, the unnamed promotions director, the unnamed promotions assistant, and the unnamed phone screener from another show.
Okay.
And this was my first event, mind you. I'm going to be on my best
And
behavior.
you're like wet behind the ears, right?
I am so
You're
green.
a
I am
babe,
wet behind the ears.
Yes.
And they decided that they were going to partake in some, at the time, illegal substances. And I'm in the back seat, and I'm like, nope, I'm not playing ball. I'm going to be clear-headed when I get to this event. I'm not my thing. I'm going to be. Lo and behold, tag lights out on the van, and we get pulled over.
So that's always what happens,
Yep.
right? It's
Something
always
silly.
something wrong with the car or whatever that gets you pulled
Registration
over.
out of date, something like
yes.
that. Yep.
And one person, of course, I mean, it smells like weed in the damn vehicle, and I'm just sitting back
You
there,
open it
and I'm
up
like,
just like this bill of smoke comes
Yeah.
out.
I'm kind of
Fast times at Richmond High.
Yes.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, man, I'm not like, I've got to go to this event, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the cop pulls us over, sees exactly what's going on, pulls everybody out of the car, and one person who will remain unnamed ends up getting arrested and going to jail that day.
Oh no!
And he let the
I'm
rest.
guessing because it was found on them.
Correct.
That person.
In all fairness, it was his.
Got it.
He was in
Okay.
possession, and the rest of us were able to go about our way
That's
and make it to
kind
the
of-
event.
That's kind of amazing that they let things go after that.
2 hours late to the event.
Yeah.
Got pulled into the corner office the following Monday, and that was the first time I got fired. And Mr. Bass took care of that for me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you got fired.
Yeah.
But then you got rehired, so it all
Yeah,
worked out for you.
In all fairness,
Oh, I don't
Yes.
remember that story that way.
Yeah.
I didn't think that you got fired.
I had nothing to do with the situation. It was very much my very first event. I was very clean about it.
You were still an intern at the time?
I had just
He just
become a
got hired.
part-time,
You
like
just got
literally a
hired.
month
Okay.
beforehand.
All right.
So I got the job, and I got fired from the job because I was in the vehicle at the same time. Thankfully, clearer heads prevailed. Months later, got rehired, and have had a decent career since
You
then.
have.
So,
You
yeah.
have. All right. Well, So you didn't really do anything. It was everybody else around you.
I after that day, boy, I really wanted to tie one on because I was stressing out, thinking what was going to happen the following Monday. But yeah, that was and I cleaned that story up quite a bit for the air, just FYI.
And we do have a text message we're going to get into about a situation, a bad day at work. I'll get into that. Plus, I have a woman who here in Florida makes a killing. Let's just say she has a great day at work every time she's there. And I think the guys enjoy it too. I have her stories, but we have a trifecta and this day in history coming your way when we get back on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
They're trying to get rid of hotel bathtubs, and I just can't stand for it.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't take your side.
Sealand, you've used a hotel bathtub before. I've seen it. Wait.
The News Junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
The Florida Highway Patrol reports a crash southbound I-95 at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Expect stop-and-go travel on northbound 95 from Lantana Road to Okeechobee Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year and their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Hey, it's a Greek. When I like something, I don't change. I like brunettes for a long time. I'm wearing Armani since I'm 12, and I'm a Yankee fan. And I found my favorite cigar, and it's Vega Fina. Take it from your boy. I love the way it smokes, and I enjoy it. After a tough day, you know my life's tough, it's Vega Fina. If I don't know who to bet in a game, I go with a Vega Fina. It clears my mind. And at the track, I love winning on long shots and smoking a Vega Fina. Vega Finas can be purchased at Casa de Monte Cristo and Boca Raton. Puff, puff, baby. Peace.
If you're looking for the yard of your dreams, look no further than Moon Valley Nurseries. America's largest box tree grower is now open in Riviera Beach. Here you'll find a wide assortment of mature trees and hedges to choose from. Work with our dedicated nursery pros to plant your dream yard. Whether you're looking for instant privacy, a relaxing oasis, or a statement piece, Moon Valley Nurseries is here for you from planning to planting. Call 561-295-8852 to schedule a free design consultation or come see us at 3200 Broadway in Riviera Beach.
Hey there, car owners. It's Franny. Head over to GiveMeTheVin.com for an instant cash offer in just 60 seconds. They buy all makes and models from $2,000 to $200,000. And if they can't beat your CarMax offer, they'll throw in an extra $100. They offer a 60-second bid process, pressure-free service, and free pickup. With a 5-star rating from the Better Business Bureau, they've got your back. Don't wait. Now's the time to sell with GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 561-390-1000. That's 561-390-1000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. Business. It's not a 9-to-5 proposition. It's all day and into the night. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these businesses is a partner like Comcast Business helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide. All these businesses choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business. From Main Street to Wall Street, our people are powering the businesses that power it all. So when you're ready to unlock what's possible for your business, there's no one better to answer the call. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Taxes and fees apply.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Real Radio weather.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are going to stay clear and sunny as we go through the remainder of our Wednesday. It's a cool and comfortable afternoon as well. Temperatures near the mid-70s today. Still a couple degrees below average for this time of year. We're going to stay dry and sunny again for your Thursday, near 79 degrees tomorrow, and then our next weather maker moves in on Friday, and it brings more rain to start the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
The Lombardi may have been lifted, but that doesn't mean there's no football to talk about. It's the offseason, and there's no better way to stay up to date with the latest from our league than with the Around the NFL podcast for news and fresh content all offseason long. From the start of free agency, where we'll break down familiar faces headed to new places, to the next generation of superstars walking across that stage at the NFL draft, listen to the Around the NFL podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Heed the call.
Presented by T-Mobile for Business. Now is the time for 5G Business.
Greek's Hardwood is sponsored by Vega Fina Cigars at Casa de Monte Cristo.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Hello, hello. Welcome back into the PH on Real Radio 92.1 101.7. And of course, I always say anywhere around the world on that absolutely free iHeartRadio app. Good morning to you. This is Franny. Good morning to you, Jimmy.
Hello and good morning.
And of course, we have Jason with us. Hi, Jason.
Hi, and don't ever sleep on those smart speakers too. Just tell it to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio, and it will be right there for you.
Yeah,
how about that?
I do that when I leave the house, so my dogs can listen to me, and they'll feel like I'm there all the time.
Well, that's very narcissistic of you.
I mean, what else would they want to listen to? So I see you got yourself some Pop Rocks over here.
These aren't Pop Rocks.
What are they?
It's freeze-dried ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It's quantum cream, which sounds like a video on Pornhub.
It does, actually, in space.
I just watched that last night. Matter of fact.
Astropolian is the name.
Watch that movie, too.
It's the name of
Who
this
dropped
ice
this
cream.
stuff?
I believe it's in conjunction with the promotion we have coming up
Got
for the Kravis Center, which we can talk about later. But
Yeah.
the first one I grabbed had nothing but coconut in it, and I don't do coconut.
You do not do
at
coconut.
all.
I know. I love coconut. Same with Jimmy. You're not a coconut fan,
No,
right?
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
disgusting.
I think it's delicious.
I don't mind the smell of it if it's like banana boat, like if it's got that coconut smell and like
Like
banana
to put on
boat.
your body, that's what
yeah,
you're saying,
for
tanning oil.
sunblock or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But
That's
as far as
different.
food or
Taste,
whatever, can't stand it. What do you have over there? Is this for the eclipse?
Well, there's we're going to have a total solar eclipse on April 8th. Right?
Total eclipse of the heart.
And you have to wear special glasses. And they have a bunch over there. So I just went and I scored and I took a couple of them.
Okay.
For me and the hubby.
Cool.
Even though we're not going to be able to see the full eclipse, a total eclipse
Okay, I was
here.
going to ask if we were
We'll get
in
a
the path
partial.
for the
Yeah,
total.
I actually have, and I'll drop that a little bit. I actually have the cities where they say you're going to be able to see it the best, and it's not here in Florida.
I thought I saw a map, and it's like, as far as the United States, it's like the lower west side, southern west side of Texas, up towards like New England area,
Yep.
right?
Yes, you are
That's the
correct.
path-ish,
Yes.
sort of.
I know Cleveland and Detroit and cities like
Dallas.
that. Dallas is in the path
Pretty
of
close, yeah.
the path of totality.
Oh, that is, they are going to get total. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
that's
here
what they're
we'll only
calling
get
it.
partial. So and
But you still don't like directly look at it. Make sure you have some kind of protection on your eyeballs.
Kind of like getting a semi.
Yeah.
Right?
What?
Right?
Protection?
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Don't look at it?
Yeah, semi.
Oh, my
semi.
God.
Don't look at it without protection.
Yeah,
Don't look at
exactly.
it without a welder's mask.
All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah, that too. Well, that's actually very important right there.
Jimmy, you want to do a trifecta?
Sure.
All right. Let's get out of this.
As quickly as possible. All right, well, we're going to start in New York, where the Jets signed former Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams this week. That has a maximum value of $15 million. The Jets went into free agency. They wanted to upgrade and get another somebody to pair up well with Garrett Wilson, who is a 1,000-yard receiver in each of his first two seasons. Williams leads the NFL with 15.8 yards per reception among players with at least 200 catches, so that'll be another nice addition for Aaron Rodgers to throw to.
Congratulations, New Jersey.
Here's another one. If you're into fights now, I don't know how much. Do you follow much UFC?
Not much,
either of you?
no.
Conor McGregor. Of
I know
course,
him.
We've
I'm aware of him, yeah.
We've been hearing about a fight that I guess he's wanted to have for quite a while now.
And it's
with
not with
Michael...
Jake Gyllenhaal and Roadhouse?
No,
Okay,
not that one.
Got it.
With Michael Chandler. Now, the rumors of them two having a fight goes back to February of 2023, but Conor says he swears this fight is going to happen. This fight has been teased since then, and McGregor claimed in January the fight would take place at UFC International Fight Week on June 29th. So if you're big into, you want to see Conor back in the old UFC fight ring, maybe it's coming. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. He swears it, but nobody else is really... Dana White hasn't confirmed it yet or anything, but
he's just such a douchebag.
You know,
he
so
just keeps on insisting that
you
this
hear
fight's going to
that,
happen.
And and we've seen, and there's been some instances where you're like, yeah, that's
he
really
hit an
douche-
octogenarian guy
yes.
in a bar.
I remember for not taking his shot of proper whiskey.
Elder
know.
abuse is what they
And
call
so
it. That's not cool,
I
man.
get it, and he's done some things to some ladies, and yes, so very douchey. I was gonna say he has done some very douchey things, but I would just watch an interview because they are promoting Roadhouse, him and Gyllenhaal, and he came across not so douchey, but I know he's also trying to sell movies. I was like,
Right.
oh, he's almost kind of likable here.
That's where I think some of this article comes from, is the fact that he's out promoting it,
Yes.
right? So that's why it's a little back into the news. I think partially because of that.
And his whiskey's not that good.
I've never had it.
Well, it's not bad either, but I'm just saying patties all day.
A guy that has 9 lives in the sporting industry. I mean,
True.
if there was anybody else, they would have been canceled, is
Yes.
the word, I guess.
Yes. I think Josh Cohen, formerly of Real Radio, that was some of of the best video I've ever seen.
The guy in the pink suit.
Yes.
The guy in the
I still
pink
bust his
suit.
chops on
Him and
that.
Conor McGregor. Oh, it's so good.
Everybody does. It's great.
Yes.
Well, in men's college hoops last night, Colorado State upended Virginia 67-42, and Wagner edged out Howard 71-68. Grambling takes on Montana, and Colorado takes on Boise State tonight to set up your 64-team March Madness roster. And that is your first trifecta of the day. And now we'll do a little history lesson on this day in history.
On this day in history.
And we'll keep this one short, but we're going to start 172 years ago today. In 1852, Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe was first published. We're going to fast forward to 1968. Eric Clapton and Neil Young were arrested at a home in Los Angeles and charged with being in place where it is suspected marijuana is being used. I guess that's an official title right there, huh? Clapton was later found innocent of the misdemeanor charge. Neil Young paid a small fine. Speaking of musicians, 55 years ago today, 1969, John Lennon married Yoko Ono. 1991 is the next stop, and that's when Michael Jackson signed a $65 million deal with Sony Records to produce 6 albums. We just talked about Sharon Stone the other day. 32 years ago, 1992 is when Basic Instinct was released, of course, starring Sharon and Michael Douglas. And finally, 25 years ago today, 1999, Bertrand Piccard and Brian Jones became the first aviators to circumnavigate the globe nonstop by balloon. They landed the following day in Egypt. And that's what happened on March 20th in our history.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. Now, we put out there the worst day you had at work because Jimmy brought up a story of a realtor who was going to have an open house. And before the open house happened, she ended up lighting a whole entire mansion on fire.
Accidentally burnt the
mansion
joint
burned
down.
Down, yes.
Mhm.
So
we brushed right over yours.
To be honest, and that's the thing, I really don't, besides coming in hungover, whatever, I really have not done anything to where it was fireable.
Mhm.
I don't. I think I was getting let go, or we were getting an argument, and I told you that, where the woman, and we were friends, and then working together made us enemies, or shall I say frenemies. And as we're getting an argument on the way out, I threw a hot cup of coffee at her, but that's about it.
So assault.
I saw red. Luckily it didn't it missed her. So nothing bad happened to her, but that was it. That didn't get me fired. I was on my way out. I can't think of anything.
Well,
are there any stories I've told you? Because looks like you're questioning me that I'm just not recalling.
Well, I don't remember.
I basically think he's saying you're sus.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I would think I'm sus too, but I can't think of anything that I've done to get out of here. But 47142 started off with Real Radio. Jason had a story about his, and I love it. I'm not going to say who it is because we left some names out, but we have people who've been listening for a long time and know exactly who you were with.
Yes, if you texted in, you're absolutely correct.
You
All
are.
3 correct, yes.
You are correct. And then somebody said, when I was 18, I worked at a machine shop, and we had an order from Maytag to make $30,000 worth of part for washing machines. Says, I mismeasured by 0.02 of an inch and miscut the entire order.
Oh, no.
Says, my dad was a boss, so I still heard about that every holiday for 35 years. But I did get fired because Pops was a boss. Yep, it happens. You got to be right on point. Did you get an email, Jimmy? I'm sorry. I thought we were looking at it.
No.
Okay. And then speaking of somebody who has pretty damn good day on the jobs and is hot. So there's those shots that became popular a couple years ago where I think you take the shot or something happens where you splash water on your face, you take the shot, and you get slapped.
Right.
Do you remember those?
Yeah, I've seen those,
Called the hurricane?
The college kids.
Is?
I thought there was another name to it, but this girl's doing the hurricane ones. So they were really popular, and I just didn't get it. I went to a graduation party, and it was an 18-year-old's graduation party, and it was because I was friends with the mom, and I'd grown up with this young girl.
Sure.
But some of the kids were 21 or older, and I'm watching them do it, but they had like a big trash can bin of water. So they would do the shot, get slapped, and then people would dunk their heads in this bin. And I'm going, God.
A variation.
I was just like, I feel so old right now.
So you're saying you don't like getting smacked in the face?
No,
Okay.
or getting dunked in water after I'm done doing a shot. But There is a girl, and she is killing it. So she works down in Fort Lauderdale, and she only works during spring break, so 45 days a year. Not too bad on the eyes. She's actually quite beautiful. And her name is Ayana Callis, 26. And she serves her signature hurricane shot, and she does this at Backyard in Fort Lauderdale, which is a pretty popular bar out there. So she charges $30 for this shot, for the hurricane shots. And she walks around in her bikinis, and she kills it, Jason. I know, Jimmy, you saw this.
Oh, my God.
So she insists
These numbers are unreal.
She insists that her participants give her consent before being slapped. And she makes sure, she says she gives them 100%, but she doesn't obviously want to knock these guys out. But she's also a performer, too. So she's like, I'm really good at making it look like I'm slapping them as hard as I can, but not slapping them as hard as I know I can.
Sure.
So the price varies depending on alcohol and the intensity of the routine. So not only does she do that, she puts some like acrobatics in the mix too, but she estimates to sell 150 to 200 shots a night. And she is killing it because she's a freelancer. So she doesn't work for Backyard. She buys the bottles, right? She buys the bottles of whatever she's going to do for shots.
I didn't see that part of it.
Yeah.
That's
So she freelances, buying the alcohol from the bar as part of her own entertainment, she says, company, through which she also accepts bookings for private parties. So if you ever want to book her for a private party, you absolutely can. So she said she started doing this last year, and it quickly became a hit for college students who wanted to pay. And it's all about the gram, right? They're like, oh, that puts us on the Instagram. And that's what they said, Instagram little moments. And it's a story to tell your buddies. And one of your buddies gets slapped by a hot chick and takes a shot, the rest of them are going to want to do it too.
Of course.
So she says that she works 45 days in a row, does 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., and she racks up $6,000 a night.
I believe it. $30 a shot, right?
That's $270,000 in 45 days.
That's quick math right there.
Is that not absolutely insane?
And it's probably all cash.
Yeah, of course.
And
the
so
only
she's not
thing
claiming
you're thinking
that.
about, no, because she and the only money that she's spending is on the bottles. I wonder how much money she's spending on the bottles. I mean, she's got to be easily clearing $250.
Well, if she's got to pay for that liquor, right?
Yeah.
So she's got to pay the bar that
She
she's
pays the
at.
bar for the
Right,
liquor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But is that not insane?
And then she just sits there and makes cash, hand over fist, and doesn't report any of that to the government.
Probably not.
I'm saying that somebody is going to get jealous and send that article to Uncle Sam, and they're going to come a knocking next year. I'm just saying.
Could be that.
She's putting it out here how much she makes. So hopefully she is, because the claim is she does have her own company.
Okay.
Right? So you would think also with the slapping, she has to be insured.
Yeah.
So she's got to claim some stuff.
I'm sure there's some sort of legitimate part of it that she does report to the government. I'm not sure about that, but it just jumped out at me. But I'm surprised other people don't mimic this. I mean, that's an easy thing to mimic.
Yeah. I mean, Franny, there's a business opportunity here for you.
There is. I mean, I
just
have
saying.
my own staffing company. I just staff a bunch of girls that'll slap guys.
And if you find her, now what was her name? Is there a way we can find her?
Ayana? I found it.
On Instagram, because for us, we got a link to it, or at least I saw it, and I saw the link to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, all she does, she takes those, just to paint a picture, those skinny shot glasses, right? Is there a name for them, right? The thin,
They look like little
test
test
tubes.
Little test tubes, yeah.
Right? She puts the one end of the closed end in her mouth, and then she'll pour it into the guy's face. So of course she's spilling out all over the place there, not just the booze, and then throws the jug of water, what about a pitcher worth?
Yeah,
into
it's like
their
a little
face,
tiny bucket.
and then smacks him upside the head, and that's what you get for $30.
And guys will take it.
And guys do it all day long, like you said. It's great for film. Somebody, you shared it with your buddies. Hey, what'd you do this summer? Hey, I got smacked in the face by this hottie.
I sit here sober saying that I wouldn't do this, but I'm sure like 10 beers into it in the spring break crowd, I'd be all about it.
Single Jason with his buddies? Oh, of course.
Mary Jimmy would do it with his buddies. It's got 10 beers in them. I would
And your
do it in a
wife would be
heartbeat.
behind you
Oh,
going,
I was going to say, my wife would buy the damn shot. Yeah.
She would be.
Yeah.
You both know Carla.
I get it. Yeah.
Oh, hell
Probably
yeah. We've been having fun, but and that's why I can see if this is making that much money, wow, I'm surprised that this hasn't been done all over the place. And maybe it is. We just haven't heard it.
And obviously, this is a thing where it's not really, I mean, yeah, you get slapped in the face, but people love to be treated horribly. There was that one bar, Dick's Last Resort, for a long time.
Yep.
And that's where you would go in, and they were just rude and mean to you, and people would tip them. I worked with plenty of bartenders. I'm one of the, and I'm not, but I'm a pretty nice person. Like it's hard for me to be mean to somebody. I'm never rude. It takes a lot for it to be like that. But I would notice the girls who had the attitude. I mean, they were killing it. They were doing really well. Some guys just like to be treated poorly. They get something out of it.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
It's a human trait because there are women that like to be
true.
Either like to be or tolerate it.
We would used to do these Love Doctor stage shows way back in the day.
Oh, good Lord, at the Lyric Theater.
At the Lyric Theater, and we would have this one woman, forgive me, I cannot remember her name, but part of her act was kicking dudes in the nuts.
Yep.
And
I remember that.
Were there guys lined up for it?
She would pluck volunteers out of the audience, and I'm telling you, when she asked the amount of hands that raised in that audience to get their I never understood it.
For nothing.
Yeah, just to get
for nothing. There was no prize in it.
Just square in the nuts. Like, what are you thinking? But hey,
you're up on stage with the Love Docs for you get your 2 minutes of fame. I guess maybe that's what you get out of it.
That's it.
Yep.
Speaking of JJ on the text line 47142, and I'm guessing this has to do with Jason's story. Says, "Good morning, guys. I know Jason will remember this famous line. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story." Says, "Happy hump day," and that is from JJ. Speaking of good stories, you're going to be able to make a lot of good stories at our tastings event.
Absolutely. April 13th, Tanger Outlets right here in West Palm Beach, Lakes Boulevard. Going to be a good time. It's our unlimited food, wine, and craft beer tasting event. We're going to have a boatload of amazing restaurants, craft breweries, distilleries out there. We want you to come join us. pbtastings.com. The Cooper's going to be out there. There's a bunch of other restaurants. Tijuana Flat's going to be out there. Earl's Slow and Low Barbecue going to be out there. Cannot wait for this event. April 13th, Tanger Outlets. Get all the details, tickets right now. pbtastings.com. That's pbtastings.com.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So we have a lot of people going to different places for spring break, and I've always wanted to travel the world, but in my head, I'm like, God, there's so many great places right here in the U.S. I haven't even seen before. And when you go to places, and obviously here in the U.S. too, we hear different stereotypes about certain cities being certain ways, and I mean personality-wise, like these people are jerks. I've always heard that, New Yorkers. And then I went to New York, and everybody was super pleasant. So
hey, not for nothing, I always thought and always heard that French people and people, Parisians specifically, are just total a-holes.
You've heard that, right?
Went to Paris, they were cool. Everybody was cool. There are no issues whatsoever. So I understand that stigma that certain cities get.
Yeah, but behind your back, they're
probably
cursing you out in
stupid
France.
American.
Damn American
Spitting
tourists.
in my snails and stuff. Yeah.
But that's probably a typical tourist type of a reaction that you hear about, you know, that type of thing.
But the U.S. has always landed every time they do a study, and this is the World Happiness Report, and this has been going on for a while, and the U.S. has always ranked at least in the top 20. And it looks like this time around, out of more than 140 nations, we are out of the top 20 right here in the U.S. Not far, but we landed spot number 23 compared to last year where we were in 15th place.
Really?
Yeah, so dropping 8 spots. They say while the U.S. is still in the top 10 happiest countries for those 60 years old and above, so the older people still believe it, its overall ranking fell due to a significant decline in what they say the well-being of the younger generations, Americans under 30. So Finland ranked at the top of the list for the 7th year in a row. And I've heard that. I've never been to Finland, but I've heard that they are one of those. And Finland, I believe, is one of the first states that was doing, trying out the 4-day work week, too.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised.
Might
Yeah,
be,
Finland,
So that makes
Sweden.
sense.
Finland or Norway,
I
right?
think
One of those
so.
Scandinavian countries, yeah.
Uh-huh. They say Lithuania is the happiest country in the world if you only look at those under the age of 30. So maybe all these kids here under the age of 30 should move to Lithuania if they're not happy in the U.S. And then they say, well, Denmark is the happiest country for people who are 60 and older. So this was the first year, the report, which was released today, in fact, to mark the UN's International Day of Happiness, analyzed rates of happiness by age group. And they found some pretty interesting results when they did this. They said there's a great variety among countries in the relative happiness of the younger, older, and in-between population. Hence, the global happiness rankings are quite different for young and the old. And they said it wasn't really like that before. It was like young and old kind of had the same thought process, but now it's completely different. But they say, yeah, to the extent that it has changed a lot over the last dozen of years. So,
I mean, especially the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
for everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Everywhere.
for the pandemic obviously threw a monkey wrench into everything for everybody.
Sure.
And the divisiveness of this country over the past, 8-10 years or whatever. Of course, yeah, I can see where that is.
Yep. But yeah, you let us know. Are there places that you have been where you're like, you know what, everybody was pretty damn cool and it seemed like a really happy place. Plus, you can also add on to our situation. We asked, what is the worst day you've had at work? 47142 started off with Real Radio, but it is that time when we get back that we do have to get into some Florida stories. And I got some people getting it on in front of a Popeyes. I know sometimes it can be really sexy over there.
I'll tell you what, get you Randy. Just go by, get one of those sandwiches.
Is that what it is? Yeah, and more crazy stories coming your way in your What the Florida on Real Radio 92.1.
Introducing the latest way to hear the greatest station in the world. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio.
Experience the best of the Palm Beaches cuisine in one amazing location. Experience the flavors of unlimited samples paired with exquisite wines and craft beers. Experience the fun of live entertainment and VIP perks. The Tastings Food, Wine, and Craft Beer event is back Saturday, April 13th at Tanger Outlets Palm Beach. Taste the Palm Beaches for only $40. Want to be a VIP and get in an hour early? VIP tickets are just $50. Get your tickets now at pbtastings.com. That's pbtastings.com.
Here's traffic on Real Radio.
The Florida Highway Patrol reports a crash southbound I-95 at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Expect stop-and-go travel on northbound 95 from Lantana Road to Okeechobee Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, it's the Greek from Monroe's of Palm Beach, and this Thursday night, it's the international kickoff for the Palm Beach Boat Show. 7 to 10 in Legends Lounge. Monroe's is calling all captains, brokers, and employees to stop by for some beautiful ladies, great entertainment, and a great menu. An open bar from 7 to 10. It's Thursday night, March 21st. Make sure you stop in for Monroe's kickoff party for the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Monroe's of Palm Beach, open 7 days a week till 5 a.m. Thursday night. Peace.
Embark on a journey through the most absurd moments of the human story with Ridiculous History, the podcast that explores the bizarre corners of human existence, like the evolution of the toilet, the story of Comic Sans, or the exploits of the notorious Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr is like, one day, my life is going to be part of a musical.
However, though, he probably didn't necessarily at this point think that he was going to be the villain.
Listen to Ridiculous History on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I've been asked 1,000 times, did you plan on becoming the largest injury law firm in the world? And the answer is no. When I started, there were just 2 of us. Today, Morgan & Morgan has almost 800 lawyers alone. No injury firm in the country has anywhere close to that. We set out to be focused on our clients and to have a commitment to trying cases and winning. And when you have those results at trial, you're able to settle most of your cases quickly and fairly. Reputation matters. We grew like this because we worked hard and so many former clients referred family and friends. And what I believe is the main reason is we delivered for our clients a lot. Hard work and client satisfaction was our plan. It worked. Hope is not a plan. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon Partners Weather Center, have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are going to stay clear and sunny as we go through the remainder of our Wednesday. It's a cool and comfortable afternoon as well. Temperatures near the mid-70s today. Still a couple degrees below average for this time of the year. We're going to stay dry and sunny again for your Thursday, near 79 degrees tomorrow. And then our next weather maker moves in on Friday, and it brings more rain to start the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Florida Power and Light.
FPL is looking at other ways to produce energy that down the line will reduce my bill.
My name is Amy. I've been with FPL over 6 years. There are so many initiatives to continue to deliver clean, reliable, and safe energy to our customers.
Learn more at FPL.com.
Greek Trifecta is sponsored by Jason Weiser, attorney at law.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome back into the Penthouse on a Wednesday. And we do have Greek on vacation, but we are still going to do, because it's a Wednesday, we can't miss it, a WWGD. We might change it up because we got Jimmy and Jason with the J's. So we may have a WWJD happening today after the final trifecta. So make sure you are tuned in. And we always say, if you ever want to send those emails, specifically to Greek, it could be to the Penthouse. If you are dealing with any kind of issues and think that he can solve it, that's Jimmy at realradio921.com. This is Franny. And speaking of Jimmy, hello, Jimmy. Good morning.
Hello and good morning. Maybe we'll call it WWGifty.
Oh, Gifty?
Yeah. Because we got to have Franny's opinion.
All right. Well, I read them, and then we just get your opinion on them. But sure, I'll put in my 2 cents. And you can always put in your 2 cents. I gave you that email. We have a text line 47142. Started off with Real Radio. We also have the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app. And, of course, that toll-free number, 877-927-6969. But it is time for some Florida stories.
Florida.
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 Did you say
Florida?
I'm from Florida.
WTF.
What the Florida?
Well, we know that spring break is in full swing, and Florida is a very popular place for spring breakers. So this is a Georgia couple, but it happened in Florida. That's why it's part of What the Florida. They are now facing charges of child neglect. The Volusia County Sheriff's deputies found Alicia Langley and her fiance, Timothy, on Saturday afternoon, and they found them passed out on the beach is what it was. And so they were abruptly woken up and
napping.
They just napping. I'm sorry. Yeah, not passed out from drinking. They're like, hey, it's the sheriff's office. Wake up. You see the sheriff's deputy. They had body cam footage of this, and the couple woke up and they were like, oh, and they were like completely unaware of their surroundings. That's why I think it was more than just napping. Stevens gestured towards the ocean when they were like, hey, where's your kids at? And I guess maybe other people knew. And so he like points towards the ocean. It's like, they're in the ocean. Yeah.
We got fish
and
for kids?
And the deputy's looking and he was like, I don't see any kids in front of you. And he was like, you don't know where they are, do you? He's like, it just boggles my mind that you would drive here, get obliterated, and, allow a 5- and 7-year-old just to wander off.
That's
Deputies
terrible.
were able to finally locate the couple's 2 children swimming unsupervised in a pool at a nearby hotel. By the way, not the hotel that they were staying at.
2 things to add here.
Wow.
Did you see any of the video or
Yes.
the footage of this? The guy was obliterated, hammered,
yeah.
and once they got him in cuffs.
Yeah.
He face planted
Yeah.
and knocked himself out.
He's got a big old shiner in his eye. He looks like he got beat up.
The woman, they fell asleep, obviously, in the sun. She is as red as a lobster. It is just ridiculous.
It
these people.
is, yeah.
27 years old, this
Oh, yeah,
couple,
yeah,
right?
yeah, very,
Certainly
very
old
young.
enough to know better. I feel bad for those kids.
Yep, they
Parents
said
of the year.
it took a turn for worse when Simpsons attempted to flee from law enforcement, as Jason mentioned, only to trip and fall. But yeah, they were both arrested and charged with child neglect, a 3rd-degree felony.
Just the face plant.
Oh my
right?
God! And just the mug shot. It looks like he got in a brawl with the cops.
Yeah.
Is what it looks like. And then next
Karma?
up,
Is that a little bit of karma there
could be,
for him?
Could be. Next up, coming up, What the Florida? A Florida woman. Speaking of mug shots, cute. She's been accused of doing a few things. Darla Rachel Vidal is facing a felony count of resisting an officer and a misdemeanor count of resisting. So they observed her driving her car on the grass. That's not where you're supposed to drive your car at a very high rate of speed. There's a road right next to her. She's in the grass.
Oh.
So she didn't stop. Cops continued trying to follow her. She continued to swerve from the road and back onto the grass. At one point, she decided to give the cops the good old adult number 1, her middle finger. She's waving at the deputies who are attempting to pull her over. God bless you.
Bless you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yep. So this is happening at Key Deer Boulevard. So she's over there down in the Florida Keys.
Big Pine area. Huh?
Yeah. So there's at one point, besides giving the cops a middle finger, they said she nearly ended up striking a deer. And I believe those deers aren't the key deer. They're not. Are they endangered? They're protected.
They're protected.
Okay.
They might be endangered.
I don't
I'm not
know,
sure,
but
I know they're
protected.
protected. Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, she stopped towards and started running towards the deputy, screaming that she hates the police while refusing the officer's orders to stop. Yeah.
Probably not we
not
should be yelling at that point.
Saying I hate the police, flipping them off. Doesn't ever work out well for you. So yes, she actually even told the deputy to shoot her while she was resisting arrest.
Damn.
Yeah. Shocker. Arrested and booked into the Monroe County Jail. And then finally here, we have a duo who is just trying to get it on. Something about that Popeye's chicken sandwich is just makes them real horny.
Yep.
This was happening.
Get a whiff of that chicken, boy. I'll tell you what. Get all kinds of Randy.
I never had that fried chicken sandwich. The
Listen.
one we call it the murder chicken sandwich.
That chicken sandwich makes people do weird things.
does.
People got shot in line for that
Yes.
chicken sandwich. Now, apparently, you're saying it makes them a little horny.
It does.
Interesting.
So there was the sheriffs responded to a report of lewd behavior, and they found these 2 suspects. And they were in a little patch of grass across from the Vero Beach Popeyes. They said it was right there, if you're familiar with the area, directly adjacent to US Highway 1. According to their arrest report, they spotted Arnold Mackey, 70 years old, making a thrusting motion while on top of April White, 44 years old. Got himself a younger woman. Uh-huh.
Maybe they're just hugging.
A thrusting motion, yes.
Oh, well.
When confronted by the deputy, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, mind you, they started adjusting their shorts.
Now, why would they have to do that?
I know, if they
Well.
were, yes.
No, something popped up.
Well, Mackey, Arnold, appeared very flustered and was unable to fully pull up his shorts which left his penis fully exposed to the oncoming traffic that was coming into the Popeyes. Yes, so they got an eyeful. Hey, I've seen it before here on 45th Street. I've told you that before. Claiming that she had done nothing wrong, April started struggling with the cops. And then she yelled out a gay slur word to the cop. So he tried to restrain her. They said she smelled very boozy. Not surprised. And I love this, was escorted to the ground by the cops. While she's escorted to the ground.
That's the best way I ever heard tackled in my life.
They say escorted to the ground by the cops. They found 4 empty bottles of vodka and 1 unopened bottle of rum.
Jesus. Now, did they specify whether it was like the little nips, the airline bottles?
Because when I saw this story, I was like, it's got to be nips, right? But it doesn't say that. It says bottles. Like, tell me it's nips. Because if it's... That's a lot of drinking.
Those are technically bottles.
They are.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a motorist who called 911 after spotting the duo, said that they had to do a double take because they couldn't believe that they were seeing. They said this is going on 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The female had her legs spread wide open while the male was doing some stuff. I don't even want to say it. In full view of traffic. Of course, they were arrested. I love how the guy was like, it wasn't his intention to expose himself. Yeah, he just couldn't get his pants up on time that he ended up showing everybody his dingling.
And this is good, clean Vero.
It is. Is it?
Man, I got a ticket last time I was up there. I was upset. I parked in I went to a great brewery, American Icon Brewery up there. Parked in the parking lot, and I didn't see the signs. Now I got a $58 ticket.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you bastard.
Hey, it's not as expensive as getting a ticket in Miami, I'll tell you that.
That's true.
And that is your What the Florida.
Well, you had some good parenting there, right there. The people down there, spring break. Here's another one. Now, I don't know if some kids might think that this is Father of the Year material because of what he ended up trying to do for his son. But we'll find out what you think about it. A 37-year-old dad in Ohio named Adam Sizemore is facing charges after he kept calling his son's school to complain that they were giving his kid too much homework. Now, here's the thing. This was an elementary school.
Wow.
But he kept calling the elementary school over and over again between February 29th and March 1st to say his son had too much homework and they didn't have time to hang out together, right? So, all right, so you kind of think, I want to spend time with my kid. And you're bombarding him with too much homework. The only problem is he was verbally abusive with the staff and used vulgar language when doing so. They say he threatened the principal at one point and told him he better be, quote, put his big boy pants on. The school eventually stopped picking up the phone because they knew it was him. So Adam started calling, of course, the local police department. Not once, not twice, but 18 times.
Wow.
Jeez.
He got hit up with that misuse of 911, huh?
Yep. He kept asking to talk to the chief of police and said things like the old typical, I pay your salary. And so they did.
What does that have to do with your kid's homework?
They did put him through. Well, he wanted to get the police to stop giving him homework, I guess.
Goodness.
So they did put him through, and he ended up getting a voicemail. Like, even the police department stopped answering the phone, right? Because I don't think it was 911. I think it was a non-emergency number. But they told him, so they ended up sending a sheriff over and a cop over to his house, and he wanted to speak to somebody, so he got to speak to one of the cops, and of course they put handcuffs on him instead and took him down and arrested him for it. He demanded to see the police chief. Well, he got to see him. That was it. So he got harassment and misdemeanor charges of misuse of a telecommunications. And harassment is what he ended up getting charged with. But, Dad wasn't too happy about sons getting that much homework.
Listen, I got it. I wasn't happy about getting homework either, but my mom never got in the way of that.
It's not the way you go about it, though, right?
No, not at all. So we got a few text messages at 47142. Started off with Real Radio. And I heard this story, but I always thought they were picking on Dr. Glenn from the Love Doctors right here on Real Radio 92.1. And our girl Sarah B. text, she says, worst at work, isn't there a Love Doc story about a van catching on fire with a dog involved? And I know they used to always give him crap about that. I was like, that can't be a real story.
It is a real story.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's another one. Another one that involved you, isn't it?
That was actually right before I started with the dogs.
Okay. Don't touch that. That's ant killer.
I'm moving it.
I was going to say it's ant killer.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know what it is.
All right. I don't want to poison you.
Sure you don't. Once upon a time in a land far, far away.
Was that a Bombay Louis event?
I think it was a Bombay Louis. Man, I had so many good times at Bombay Louis. Oh my God, young single. Talk about young single Jason.
Yeah.
I digress. Dr. Glenn was doing and I believe this was the bread truck. We had an old vehicle. It was an old bread truck from I think Flowers Bakery. You talk about a throwback.
So like for real, a bread truck. Because I know we call the ones that we have bread trucks, and they're like sprinters.
No, it was that square boxed off, this smaller one.
He was coming down 95, driving the bread truck up back, and had the station dog in the car. Back when we had station.
There was
animals.
A station dog.
Yeah, we had a station dog. It was an adorable, cute. I think it was maybe a 1.5 year old golden retriever.
What?
And
how come we don't have station dogs anymore?
You're about to find out why. So we brought he had the station dog with him, and the smoke started coming out of the engine as he was driving down 95, and as he was coming from Vero and back into Fort Pierce there. All of a sudden, like a lot of smoke was coming out of the engine, so he pulled over, as one does when the engine's basically on fire. And this is the time before everybody had cell phones and you know pagers and all that other stuff.
Okay.
So
yeah, mid 2000s.
This is late 90s. This is late 90s.
Oh, that
that was, I think it would have been 98, 99, right around that area. And so the engine on this vehicle caught on fire. What he didn't realize is the doors locked behind him when he got out.
I don't like this story. Is this a true story?
The fire quickly got out of control.
Yeah.
And spread to the rest of the cabin and the rest of the vehicle, and the whole vehicle burned down with the dog inside of it.
I do not like this is not a real story.
What do you think I'm making this up? This has been a long-standing issue.
I know, and I always thought they were just teasing him about it. It wasn't true. That is horrific. That is a horrific story.
You asked why we're not allowed to have station dogs
Now
anymore.
you know why we can't have a station dog
Now we
anymore.
have station cats.
We do have station cats, thanks to Sally.
Yeah, 8 of them.
She was a little bit more responsible than Dr. Glenn was at the time.
I do not like that story. That story made me very upset.
And Dr. Glenn, he felt really bad about that.
Of course he did.
But it was an accident. It was nothing that could have, nothing could have happened. Or nothing he could have done.
See his face? Like, this is terrible.
And unfortunately, the dog suffered the consequence of
my God. Yeah, that's probably one of the worst days at work. Yes, I get it.
Talk about a bad day at work.
Oh, but you guys are terrible.
Dr. Glenn had many bad days at work.
Terrible.
That was probably one of his worst ones.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can continue on with the show. You guys have to do this together. 47142 start
Rest
off
in
with
peace,
Real Radio.
Sparkles.
Oh, you're so full of it. Is this a real story?
Does this look like do you think I'm BSing right now?
I don't know. I want to believe it's not true. So let's go along with that, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
47142 started off with Real Radio. Texas restaurant.
Just make this stuff
I
up.
know. I'm just saying. I want to believe. Let's just say it's not true. Thank you. There's a restaurant that.
I ain't saying a damn thing.
We were talking about the girl who does the hurricane shots. She slaps guys and pours water on their face, and
we got some text on that.
Makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
Well, how people like to be treated poorly and they get paid for it.
Oh, true.
Somebody said there was a Texas restaurant. They used to have a birthday cake where the servers would smash it in the face of the unaware of this natal day customer. It happened to my cousin's wife, where her contact lens was pushed behind her eyeball socket. They said it caused severe vision problems, and she sued the restaurant chain.
Wow.
And only received 30 G's. I mean, not bad. They said that was enough, or not enough to even cover her medical bills. But I mean, do you know what you're getting into, right? Is that a thing? Like, if you know you're going to a place that's going to smash your face into a cake.
Unless the table does it for you in advance and you don't know about it.
Yeah, I guess.
Stuff like that just doesn't happen anymore. Like because of liability issues, obviously.
This is why. I'm surprised they didn't have some sort of like safety glasses or something.
You remember when you used to go to Chili's and order the fajitas, they would slide it onto the hot plate right next to your table. Remember that?
No, I mean, I know that they used to put them down sizzling. They still do.
I don't know if it was Chili's specifically, but I've been to many restaurants where they would have you go out with 2 hot plates. I know we used to do it at RJ Gators way back in the day.
I don't know if Chili's.
There's a name for the past now, RJ Gators.
So many good times.
I found out that Berry Fresh Cafe is the owner of RJ Gators, and now those are popping up everywhere.
I did not know that.
Really? Yeah.
I love Berry Fresh Cafe.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we would
Squirrel.
We used to. We would used to go out. You get the 2 hot plates, you put them in the salamander, get it all nice and hot there. You go out with 2, and then you would slide the fajitas onto the hot plate, and creates a whole show. Everybody looks. They don't do that anymore.
Okay. Well, I know that they bring them out, but it's the hot plate on the wooden thing, right?
Yeah.
And they bring them out to you sizzling.
They put it on the hot plate before it
They
leaves
do.
the kitchen because that eliminates the liability of the customers.
That
But they used to do
makes
it
sense, right?
tableside.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Mhm.
I did not know that.
Wonder if something similar. It made me think of there's a couple Greek places we've gone to, and you get was it Saganaki cheese, right? They bring out the cheese and they have like brandy on it, and they light it on fire right by your table too. Same type of thing. You just kind of tilt it the wrong way, you can have a fire full of, or a lap full of fire.
They do it all the time. I mean, with the what is it, like the bananas Fosters or the flambe? Like sometimes they'll light that at the table.
Same type thing.
It's nothing that is out of the rarity. They still do it. Jason, I told a story a while ago, and it reminds me now that we're talking about putting things on fire. There's a couple
You
shots.
mean like the dogs that Dr. Glenn
Stop
killed?
it. Can we not talk about that anymore?
Yeah.
There was the golden retriever. By the way, there's a bunch of golden retrievers that need to be adopted from Big Dog Ranch Rescue. My husband said no. So
You have enough.
I know. So there
Still room.
we
There's still
did
plenty of room in that house.
for our birthdays at a restaurant I used to work at. It's not. It's no longer there. It's called Shootouts.
Okay.
It was in Boynton Beach. It was there for a long time. But for anybody who turned 21 or on their birthday, the GM would buy them a shot of Grandma.
Oh, that's nice. Well, kind of nice.
Yeah, it's tough. I used to drink Grandma. It'll put what guys say your D in the dirt.
I used to have
Yeah.
an affinity for grandma until Dano one day overdid it. Even the hearing of the word
Oh, yeah.
grandma makes me want to.
It's flammable and it's very, very sweet, and it'll destroy your life if you drink too much of it. So, but she would just buy you one at the time, and you know, Grandma it's flammable.
Yeah.
So she would do it where she lit it on fire, but then you're supposed to put out the fire and then you take the shot. You're not
Sure.
you're not supposed to put out the fire in your mouth. So this one guy, he turned 21, and he was one of those guys who was just always trying to be a hard ass. He was like a one-upper,
Yeah.
but he was just tough. And it's when MMA was getting really big, and he was getting into that kind of stuff too. So he was just a
Tap out,
He was
bro.
just a tough guy, yeah. So he was just a tough guy. So he takes a shot, and he's like, "I'm just going to do it." So he takes it, and he takes it while it's the
All over his
grandma
face.
and everything drips down his neck. This dude is on fire.
Yeah.
On fire. Like he had to go to the hospital. I
that's
think his
bad.
his
That's
neck.
bad.
I think he had to get
Okay.
skin grafts on his. That's how bad it was.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not sure if the restaurant got sued for that, but I have a feeling it probably did.
Jeez. And you said you're out of business now, right?
It's not there anymore.
Yeah, it might have something to do with
But
it.
but it's one of those things like it's on you, personal responsibility.
Of course.
You
Oh,
know what you're
yeah.
supposed to do. We tell you, put out the fire, and then you take the shot.
That's all
and the
your fault.
fumes is supposed to make it a little bit more boozy too after the fact. But
Yeah. What was that? The Zambuca used to light that on fire. I think that was called a Blue Blazer. And I used to do those shots of those, but I always shot it with it still lit. And I burned my mustache a few times, but
Did
I
you?
never had it pour down my
don't.
pour down my face and catch me. That's wow.
Well, and that's the
worst
thing.
case
He didn't
scenario,
take
right?
the shot correctly or whatever, and it just all started
Well.
dripping down his face. I mean, there's the ones that are popular. What is it? The Flaming Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Flaming Dr. Pepper, sure.
But you just take the flamer and you put it in the beer.
Yeah.
And then
it goes out.
That's
Oh,
what makes
yeah.
it taste like a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know what a squirrel talk. So 47142, thank you very, very much. They said maybe the station can adopt another golden retriever from BDRR. No, I will not let that happen, considering what happened to the golden retriever that was here before.
We have a strict no dog policy here at Real Radio.
We do.
And then we have, even though we are all dog lovers
Let me
here.
clarify, station dog policy.
All right, so like if I want to bring the dog in the station, but not in a station vehicle, we would be okay.
I can bring King by.
After the story I just sold, I
Yeah.
would prefer we keep our animals at home.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And the
Fine.
aforementioned cats that Sally has here, they're not her cats technically.
Well,
they're
just
she feeds
strays,
them.
right?
She just takes, she just feeds them.
Okay,
That's all.
all right.
She does not take ownership of them.
Okay. And it was Sarah who reminded us about this story. Thank you, Sarah, because now I'm just ruined for the rest of the show. But we have somebody who is a fan of you, Sarah, and they said, please tell everyone to vote for Sarah B ASAP right now. You get 2 free votes until noon. She's in a karaoke contest that will win her a good amount of money. So
Cool.
Go out there, vote. I guess today you get 2 votes for free until noon. And then we have here that I listened to the Love Doc since 1989. I remember the company truck fire, but don't remember the dog dying. I hope the dog didn't die, all right? And then we have somebody else that
The
says
doors were locked.
Then
the
we
vehicle
have
was on fire. What do you think happened?
we have somebody says there wasn't really a dog. They're having fun with you, and I hope so. Unless you're just trying to make me feel better.
Do you want me to go and get the police report?
I don't want to look at it. No, I told you. Can you just fake it? And then Greek is. I know you can, Jimmy. And then Greek is on vacation, but I think somebody wants a little taste of Greek because they said Happy Wednesday, Franny. Do you think Jason has heard your newish segment, which we call A Few Minutes Later? Jimmy has made this thing so Greek will say something and legit a few minutes later will forget that he said something or forget that somebody else said something, right? Like, let's
Why
say.
does that not surprise me one
So what famously.
It shouldn't. That's not the surprising part.
So famously, it was the one that started this. I was asking him about his buddy Ravino, who goes on the Greek Zone with him all the time.
Sure.
And Greek goes, Ravino? Who's Ravino? Ravino? Who's Ravino? And this is a guy he does a show with. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
So this created a little bit that Jimmy has put together. And now he's found different other times he does it.
Well,
and a few minutes later.
This is the original,
Yes.
so you get the whole Ravino one.
After the Penthouse, we got the Greek Zone today talking to our bud buddy, Rob Vino.
Our butt buddy?
A few minutes later.
Rob Vino. Who's Rob Vino?
Anybody know? Anybody know?
Anybody know? Anybody?
Anybody?
After he's just saying that he's
my
going to be on a
God.
segment. Dying.
So I put a couple of them together because
Okay.
it became a new bit.
Yeah, I mean, my thing was I didn't download the app. I didn't want it on my phone because I felt I'll be at a red light, and I realized how addicting that is. I put it on my desktop and just do it that way. I don't want the push notifications. I don't want all that other stuff.
A few minutes later.
Well, we appreciate the call. I'm glad you did good on the app, and always keep in touch with us, pal.
I don't use the app.
That's him not paying attention.
Oh, the
It's
caller's reaction is, I just told you I don't use the app.
so good.
Now, this is the one that he always says that he didn't say it. He didn't say it. So you tell me what you think of it.
Back in '87, the Dolphins played the Eagles.
Okay.
And this is back in the old Orange Bowl when they had the enclosed end zone that was really loud.
Okay.
Back then, they actually calmed down the crowd. You know, we couldn't be screaming like that to give the Eagles a chance to hear the play.
A few minutes later.
Did you ever get down to the old Orange Bowl?
I just told you I was just there.
Oh, okay. That night you were there? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. I didn't know. I thought you were telling the story.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah, we were at the game.
Yeah, we could do this all day. We
what are
really
you
could.
doing, bud?
It's so good.
Oh, we're late. Damn it.
Speaking of G, we have a trifecta coming our way. Jimmy's going to handle that. Plus, I have some life hacks that when you hear them, you're like, it kind of seems bogus, but they actually work according to these Redditors. And we have our prize giveaway at 11:45. That's Stained with Breakin' Benjamin coming your way on the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
They're trying to get rid of hotel bathtubs, and I just can't stand for it.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't take your side.
Sealand, you've used a hotel bathtub before. I've seen it. Wait.
The News Junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
The Florida Highway Patrol reports a crash southbound I-95 at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Expect stop-and-go travel on northbound 95 from Lantana Road to Okeechobee Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword westbound traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Fresh from Florida.
Meal planning is work, so let Fresh from Florida help. Learn what's in season, browse hundreds of recipes, and get tips from Chef Justin by visiting freshfromflorida.com. Eat healthier with Fresh from Florida. There's sunshine in every bite.
Hey, it's a Greek. When I like something, I don't change. I like brunettes for a long time. I'm wearing Armani since I'm 12, and I'm a Yankee fan. And I found my favorite cigar, and it's Vega Fina. Take it from your boy. I love the way it smokes, and I enjoy it. After a tough day, you know my life's tough, it's Vega Fina. If I don't know who to bet in a game, I go with a Vega Fina. It clears my mind. And at the track, I love winning on long shots and smoking a Vega Fina. Vega Finas can be purchased at Casa de Monte Cristo in Boca Raton. phone. Puff, puff, baby. Peace.
If you're looking for the yard of your dreams, look no further than Moon Valley Nurseries. America's largest box tree grower is now open in Riviera Beach. Here you'll find a wide assortment of mature trees and hedges to choose from. Work with our dedicated nursery pros to plant your dream yard. Whether you're looking for instant privacy, a relaxing oasis, or a statement piece, Moon Valley Nurseries is here for you from planning to planting. Call 561-295-8852 to schedule a free design consultation or come see us at 3200 Broadway in Riviera Beach.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows will help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
See why Comcast Business powers more small businesses than anyone else. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call to switch today. Ends 5/5/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Embark on a journey through the most absurd moments of the human story with Ridiculous History, the podcast that explores the bizarre corners of human existence, like the evolution of the toilet, the story of Comic Sans, or the exploits of the notorious Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr is like, one day, my life is going to be part of a musical.
However, though, he probably didn't necessarily at this point think that he was going to be the villain.
Listen to Ridiculous History on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, it's the Greek for Jason Weiser, my attorney. Whether you were injured due to a car accident or a medical malpractice issue, a slip and fall, or any kind of injury due to a fault of another, their team can help you. Board-certified personal injury attorneys. They can help you determine the responsibility party and pursue the damages and justice you deserve. Contact them at 561-689-8180, 561-689-8180. No fees unless they win. Jason Weiser, my attorney for over 20 years.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert, and I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
For more information about contests on the station, visit realradio921.com/rules.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Fantasy.
The Heat right now are 2-1 on their 4-game road trip. It wraps up tonight with a visit to Cleveland. There are 2 more games in Dayton tonight. Then the NCAA tournament will begin in earnest tomorrow. Florida Atlantic will open on Friday, taking on Northwestern. At spring training, the Marlins in split squad games lost to the Cardinals and played Houston to a tie. Meanwhile, the Dodgers beat the Padres in Korea today in Major League Baseball's first regular season game. I'm Matt McCoy.
Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
NFL Total Access, the podcast, is getting you ready for the NFL Draft. I'm your host, Andrew Levy, and I'll be delivering 2 shows a week to make sure you're caught up on the latest NFL news, every free agency move, and how it changes the draft needs of your NFL team. Draft experts, talent scouts, mock drafts, and shock drafts too. NFL Total Access, the podcast, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Presented by T-Mobile for Business. Now is the time for 5G Business.
Greek Trifecta is sponsored by Jason Weiser, attorney at law.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
I normally love you, Jimmy, but I don't know
What?
if I do right now. I see what you did right there. The dog barking coming in. See what you did right there.
It's a true story.
I get it. All right. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't know what we're talking about, well, it's your fault. You missed out. You should have been tuned in since the beginning.
So screw you.
Because I do not want to have anybody tell that story once again. Hey, what's going on?
You can get the podcast later if you want.
Oh,
just saying.
there you go. Yeah, iHeartRadio app. Just search for Real Radio 921. And that's where you can actually leave us a talkback, too. I love that feature. You click on the microphone, leave us a little voice message, and we will play it on air if we find it worthy enough. Speaking of we, Jimmy, hi. Good morning. Good morning still.
Hello and good morning.
I am Franny, and we have Jason with us. Hi, Jason.
Hi, I'm Franny's co-host over at 98.7 The Gator. We do the morning show.
We do. Yes, we do. So if you're like, you know what, in between Rover's Morning Glory here, or maybe just one day you're not feeling it, always switch over to 98.7 and you can check us out in the mornings. And we do not have Greek here, but Jimmy has been handling the trifectas.
Riders up. It's Greek's Trifecta.
Well, if you've been missing Conor McGregor in your life, fear not, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. He is confident that he will return to mixed martial arts with a UFC fight again. Michael Chandler is the guy that he wants to fight. And I don't know. They didn't specify a date yet or a weight class or anything like that. But he is determined to have this fight. Now, this started back in February 2023 where the rumor mill was hitting about this fight. And they were claiming in this past January, he was claiming that they're going to take place maybe at the UFC and the International Fight Week on June 29th. Mm-hmm. So where they're looking to maybe have this. Now McGregor's out he's hawking a movie right now. So that's where I believe these rumor mills
remake
are
of Roadhouse
going around. So that might be why. I don't know if he's just trying to stir up some stuff. This rumor's been going around for a little over a year, so we'll see if it happens or not. But if you're waiting for it, maybe it's coming. Speaking of coming, we've got March Madness coming in a couple of tomorrow, I do believe that starts. And last night we had a little bit of college hoops action. Colorado State upended Virginia 67-42, and Wagner edged out Howard 71-68. Grambling takes on Montana, and Colorado takes on Boise State tonight. And that should get us down to 64 teams for March Madness.
Did you guys fill out a bracket? Yeah, I was going to ask.
That's the same question.
I did not.
I haven't filled one out yet. I did print one out, though.
Okay, but we can't, right? We're too late. No?
Well, not all the teams have been chosen.
Yeah, it
yes,
hasn't started yet. You can still get in. I filled out. I filled out 2 brackets. I actually did one for the men's and for the women's as well.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when do those games start? Because
Tomorrow.
From my understanding, it was the 19th is when the games were starting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Tuesday is when we had a couple of these last stragglers come in. So you had 2 number 10s and 2 16s playing in. That's a matter of fact, the scores that I just gave you.
Tonight.
They played last night. There's these 2 games tonight now between Boise State and Colorado. And then, of course, Grambling and Montana also. That's 2. And I believe that should round it down to the 64 teams that we're normally seeing. The 1 through 16 in the East, West, North, South, and all that.
You know what's interesting is that people still do, and I get it because I just saw on one of our prep sites, our show prep sites, that people still even want to know what our former President Barack Obama does for his bracket.
Oh, he
it was
always
out in the
makes.
news.
Yeah, he always makes his bracket public. I did see it go out a few days ago. I didn't look at it.
Oh, did you? Okay, because I haven't. Now that you mention it, that is obviously a very popular thing, and I haven't seen anything put out yet.
Do you have a method to madness when you're picking? I mean, do you actually know the teams? Do you follow what's going on?
No. I don't know enough other than that UConn is supposedly the team to beat this year for the men's.
I Christmas tree the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just do. And the only reason I participate, our company gives away certain prizes. If you're, and I'll tell you during the break, it's really not anything. But if you're in a select group, then you can opt in and they'll have a prize where you can go. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. It ultimately benefits the station or whatever. So
okay, cool.
But yeah, that's the only reason I do it because there's something in it. I don't know anything about March Madness.
No, I don't know enough about college basketball in order to make a reasonable selection. Other than you kind of look through and you see, maybe there I might have heard about this one a little bit. Maybe this 12 will upset that 5 type thing. Because you always got to get a couple of those.
It's all about the upsets,
and then you look for that sweet story. That number 16 team that upends the number 1,
like FAU last year. That was a Cinderella story right there.
They were was it Chicago Loyola of Chicago or something?
Are they
a couple
still in the
years
mix?
ago.
FAU, I haven't been paying any attention.
Yeah, they're in, aren't they?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember picking them when I filled out my bracket.
So, right?
Yeah.
They should be because they had a decent year this year. So I
Gators
would think
are in
that
too
they
again. So go Gators! Know how much you love hearing that, Franny.
Oh, it's to each his own.
Right. Well, speaking of football there, we'll go over to the pros where the New York Jets just signed.
It's the New Jersey Jets.
The New Jersey Jets just signed the former Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver. Do I have to call him San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams last week? By the way, that's a max. You can maximize about $15 million out of that deal if he probably hits a bunch of milestones. The Jets went into a free agency looking to upgrade at the position opposite Garrett Wilson, who's a 1,000-yard receiver in each of his first 2 seasons. Williams leads the NFL with 15.8 yards per reception among players with at least 200 catches. I'm guessing maybe the Jets are gonna wait to get an offensive line for Aaron Rodgers in the draft.
That's what they need the most, to be honest with you. I mean, realistically, that's a great get for the Jets.
Sure.
But without an O-line to protect Aaron Rodgers and give him time, man,
and clearly that's their weak spot.
That's it. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But anyway, that is your Greeks trifecta for the 11 o'clock hour.
And we'll see also if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy again. So we shall.
They don't address that offensive line. He's not going.
Yeah, very, very true. At 47142, started off with Real Radio. We were talking about the parents and that I guess this happened in New Smyrna Beach. The ones that had passed out, they were there for spring break. And they said about those terrible parents passing on the beach, you can drive on New Smyrna Beach. I've never been up that way. They said the cars are bumper to bumper. And they said, and kids, they said even with parents, even when the parents are watching them, they said the kids always run out in front of the cars.
Yep. I've heard about that.
Have you?
I've never driven on the beach, never had the want to do so, and I still never understood why they allow it up in North
Daytona,
Florida.
I have. So, because living in Georgia, like these people, Daytona and Destin, in Panama City, were the hot spots to drive down and have your spring break when you were in high school. And even as a kid, we would go to Destin with the family. But I remember Daytona. I don't know if it's still that way, because same thing. It's been years since I've been there, but that was one of those beaches that you could just drive up and down.
I've always seen where it's like just certain areas where they allow it to happen, right? And I guess the idea is if people know, it's like a nude beach. If people know it, then if that's what you you want to do, that's what you go to that area for, right? But I can't imagine taking kids there and just letting them run around when cars are driving all over the beach.
And that was a thing. But in high school, and that's what you want to do. You wanted to go with your top down and just cruise and just check out where you wanted to stop, where the girls were. Not that top. I'm talking about your convertible or your Jeep.
Oh. Well, you had me there for a minute.
That's what you were cruising. You were cruising for the dudes or the chicks, and that's when you found your spot. And then sometimes you wanted to blast your speaker system and show off or whatever. But that's what they would all do going up and down the beach. You were cruising for some for some 5-letter.
Yeah, a little Johnny B. Good jamming out, right?
I'm not that old.
More like Nelly.
Yeah,
well, not you.
Exactly. Maybe some Snoop and Dre. I don't know. Possibly some Sir Mix-a-Lot. So it is that time where we ask you to pick up the phone if you want to win a prize. And I know you want this one. We have a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin. That number you got to call is 877-927-6969. That's 877-927-6969 to score yourself a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin. That show is September 26th at the I Think Financial Amphitheater. You get all the details plus another chance to win because I know you can't always pick up the phone. Maybe it's because of work or whatever life circumstances. But head on over to realradio921.com/contest. We got all kinds of goodies up there up for grabs. Just register for everything. But right now we're going to be playing He Said, She Said. Jimmy is going to ask, or he's going to read a quote. And then you just have to guess. Did I say it? Franny, did Jimmy say it or did Greek say it? And then after the fact, he will play the audio for it. So let's get you guys on the line, 877-927-6969. Now, I do understand spring break is going on. So this is the time for you to pick up the phone because you may have a better chance.
Yeah, like St. Lucie County and Palm Beach County schools are in spring break right now.
Let's do it.
So,
Pick up the phone. You have a better chance of winning. You're not going to have as many competitors. Do it right now. And then we do also want to give you a heads up while Jimmy is getting people on the line. All right, the phone lines are now blowing up. That's April 13th. This is not the first time we've done it. In fact, we've done it a few times, but I want to say this time around, and this is just looking from who our vendors are going to be, it looks like the best tastings event we're going to have yet. This is food, wine, craft beer, live music happening at the Tanger Outlets. That's right there off Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. And when I say unlimited food sampling, I mean unlimited food sampling from over 20 incredible restaurants. And our list just keeps getting bigger. But for now, you got the Cooper, City Cellar, Payway, BJ's Restaurant Brewhouse, Talkin' Tacos, Buffalo Wild Wings. There really is something for everybody there.
This is the biggest tastings we put on yet. We have some amazing restaurants like Franny mentioned. I for one, love Smoke Shack Barbecue. They do an amazing job. Tijuana Flat's going to be out there. Tropical Smoothie as well. And we are going to have wine, craft beer, samples. We're going to have spirit samples out there. Ace Cider is going to be out there. Hop Life Brewing, which is amazing.
Knox and Dunn, Florida Rum will be there. The House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits. And even some of our restaurants are going to be making like their signature drinks. Mulligan's is going to have a Bloody Mary. Voodoo Juice from Hurricane Grill. They're going to be making that too.
Amazing time. PBTastings.com, PBTastings.com. Come join us out April 13th. Tanger Outlets, West Palm, PB Tastings. Get your tickets right now. PBTastings.com.
All right. We will see you there. Jimmy, are we ready to give away tickets?
We are ready to give away a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin. They are going to be playing at I Think Financial Amphitheater on Thursday, September 26th. And Jamie wants to go. Jamie, welcome to the Penthouse. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good so far, Jamie.
I think we're all right. How you doing over there, Jaybird? Jay's doing great.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Zoned out.
All right, Jamie. Well, let's see if we can get you a pair of tickets.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Stained and Breaking Benjamin. I'm going to read you a quote, Jamie. All you got to do is tell us. Did Greek say this? Did Franny say this? Or did I say it? Okay?
Okay.
Here is your quote. We had to call it the Thunder Box. We had to call it the Thunder Box. Did Greek say that? Did Franny say that? Or did I, Jimmy, say that?
Oh, let's go with Greek.
Ooh, and...
Is that you?
I'm sorry about that. No.
That was me?
That one was Francis, and it sounded like this.
Huh. We had to call it the Thunder Box.
Yes, the Thunder Box.
I have questions.
I have questions. Huh.
Franny, what context was that in?
I have no idea.
Are you referring to yourself, friends, family, what?
I don't know. Like I am.
If you're referring to family, boy, that's trouble.
I have drawn a blank. The Thunderbox.
We had to call it
All right,
the
I
Thunderbox.
gotta think about that
Yep.
one.
I give you.
I mean, clearly it was me talking. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Because I wrote it down.
What was it?
Bathroom. Does that ring a bell?
No. The Thunderbox.
It was referencing a story you told about a bathroom of some sort.
Oh, huh. Yeah.
Stucky's at Yeehaw Junction by any chance?
Still not there.
There you go. That might be it. Well, I'm sorry about that, Jamie. Next up, we have Kyle on the line. Kyle, welcome to the Penthouse. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing great, buddy.
Excellent. We like to hear that. You want to go see Stain and Breaking Benjamin? We got a pair of tickets for you here. If you can.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can make that happen for you, buddy. I'm going to read you a quote. Just let us know. Did Greek say it? Did Franny say it? Or did I say it? And here is your quote. Get a stack in your mouth. Get a stack in your mouth. Did Greek say that? Did Franny say that? Or did I, Jimmy, say that?
Oh, God. I got to go with the Greaser.
All right. And I've got to go with... Sorry about that. That one was get a stack in your mouth. Me.
I definitely would have thought it was G-Man too, because I'm thinking like stacks of cash, but you're probably thinking like stacks of burgers.
Stack of pancakes, because we were talking about National Pancake Day.
I was going little White Castles.
I do believe that, or something along those lines. Yep. I'm sorry about that, Kyle. Next up, we have Brandon on the line. Brandon, welcome to the Penthouse. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
You big fan of Stained or Breaking Benjamin or both?
Yes, both.
Both?
Really.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get you up to or down to I Think Financial Amphitheater. And let's see. Tickets are on sale for that now, but we have a pair here for possibly you, Brandon. Here is a quote. Tell us who said it, Greek, Franny, or myself. Your quote is, I just swallowed something. I just swallowed something. Did Greek say that? Did Franny say that? Or did I say that?
Franny.
No, I thought it was me too.
Sorry about that.
We're
This
really
time,
bad at this.
Greek is the one that swallowed.
I just swallowed something.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Oh, geez. And it caught Franny off guard.
Son of a gun.
Oh, boy. Sorry about that, Brandon. Next up, we have Matt, not from Port St. Lucie, on the line. Hey, Matt, what's going on,
How about
buddy?
from Palm Beach Gardens?
No, from
Guy's a
Jupiter.
douche.
Hey, you stop that. All right, Matt, let's see if we can get you to go see Stained and Breaking Benjamin. I'm going to read you a quote. You know the drill. Just tell us who said it. Here is your quote. It's never good when it gets bigger. It's never good when it gets bigger. Did Greek say that? Did Franny say that? Or did I, Jimmy, say that?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to go with Franny.
Yeah!
Nice job.
Nice. And that sounded like this.
It's never good when it gets bigger.
It's never good when it gets bigger. And I don't know about that.
So you guys always called me a size queen. Take it back.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of surprised by that. All right, great job, Matt. I'm going to put you on hold. You know the drill. I'll get with you here in a minute. We'll get you set up with those tickets. Nice job. That's how you win right there.
Congratulations. Somebody want to let us know that in St. Augustine you can actually drive on the beach too, which I was not aware of. But they said you have to stay way up by the dunes. And I know not on the dunes, but interesting.
St.
Augustine.
Anastasia Island is the beach that's adjacent to St. Augustine. So, I mean, there's...
I don't know.
Huh.
Is that where you're when you're downtown by the castle or the fort there and you go over the bridge?
Over the bridge.
Well, that's the Lions Bridge that takes you out to St. Anastasia Island.
Well,
so that's
isn't that where the beach is, though?
Yeah, but there's also the Ponce Inlet there, and there's a north side of the beach that's technically St. Augustine as well. That I've never
been beachside. I always stay like
my
little
ex
downtown.
lived in St. Augustine for a long time. I was up there a lot. I never ever heard of anybody driving on the beach up there or driven on the beach up there myself. So. I'm surprised at that.
Well, I know you got to stay away from the dunes. I know that. So to have to drive close to the dunes is very interesting.
Your wife went to college there, didn't she?
No, that's the ex.
What? Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
All right. We've all had a past.
You're dredging up horrible memories.
Well,
thank you for that.
Oh, good.
Okay,
We're making everybody miserable here today.
My
Nice.
head in shame here.
Oh, they weren't that horrible memories. She was
Yes.
a lovely person.
You're going to like You're going to like this one, Jason. New York can keep the Jets. They play in New Jersey. Their HQ is in Connecticut, and they use the NY name. The Giants, however, are all New Jersey and should be named so.
Thank you. I agree. Thank you. The only true team from New York is the damn Bills.
That's right. Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
The only one that actually plays in New York.
And I'm going to be in Buffalo in a few months, and not one person has told me that's great.
Beef on Weck sucks.
I'm like, what should I do there? Because if I'm going to be working.
Well, you drive down to Orchard Park and see the new stadium
I guess I'm
building.
going to Canada instead.
Well, that's the place to
Toronto's
go,
only
really.
a couple hours away. It's a really good time.
That's what it seems like I'm going to end up doing, because I've even asked people who are from that area. Nobody's been like, hey, you should do this.
Nope, go to Canada. It's about 45 minutes away from the border. Something like that.
It's right there. Niagara Falls is right there. But I mean, the trip to Toronto, man, Toronto's such a fun town. It really is.
All right. So I guess that's what I'm doing. If you guys are from Buffalo and have something awesome, let me know. 47142.
If you can actually find a Buffalo fan from Buffalo, you want to trigger them, tell them Beef on Weck sucks.
Okay.
And they will lose their damn mind.
One of my best girlfriends, her husband is from Buffalo, and his family is still up there. So
what is that? Beef
on Weck. It's actually, it's not bad.
It's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich. It's just it's a wannabe Italian beef. You ever go to Chicago, they got Italian beefs, or they
it's
hot
one of those
away,
type
dip
of
with
things.
giardiniera. Yeah, it's a local food from Buffalo area. It's not that bad. I just had it. We went up for the my friends and I, the tailgate crew, went up to the Dolphins Fins playoff game last year in 2022
with the Bills,
when they lost to the Bills, but we almost beat them with our third string quarterback. We're not going to get into that. And we went to a really cool tailgate, had a good time, and they had a bunch of wings, which were good. And they had beef on Weck, but it was so damn cold out. The second they brought it out, it got cold, and it was just not good.
So you need to get it nice and toasty. I've been telling you forever, Jimmy, and maybe this season you'll go. I have a Bills bar right across the street from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Crazy Horse Saloon. And I always see them advertising that beef on Weck.
Oh, really?
Always.
Huh.
Yep. Have not tried it.
Yeah, I know. It's on the bucket list to get over there.
Yeah, one day. Maybe
we'll,
you let me know. We'll go over there with you.
Yeah, we'll come down on a Sunday.
I can
and,
crawl
watch
him
a
if I
game.
need to. Yeah. So it is that time where we come
Wouldn't
back
be the
with
first time, right?
where we have to come back with some fun facts. And today is a lot of days, including Alien Abduction Day.
Oh, really?
So I got some interesting stats about UFOs and aliens.
Ooh, any probing involved?
Well, you're going to have to wait and see, Jimmy.
All right. I'll wait.
Okay, when we come back on Real Radio 92.1.
We're everywhere you need to be. I've been everywhere, man. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
So far, so good along 95 and the Turnpike. Currently accident-free, flowing freely as well. Got some road work here in Okeechobee Boulevard, eastbound before Flagler Drive. That'll be blocking your left lane. That's traffic. I'm Ricky Rousseau.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to ExpressPros.com to find the location near you. That's ExpressPros.com.
Hey, it's the Greek from Monroe's and Palm Beach, and this Thursday night, it's the international kickoff for the Palm Beach Boat Show. 7 to 10 in Legends Lounge. Monroe's is calling all captains, brokers, and employees to stop by for some beautiful ladies, great entertainment, and a great menu. An open bar from 7 to 10. It's Thursday night, March 21st. Make sure you stop in for Monroe's kickoff party for the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Monroe's and Palm Beach open 7 days a week till 5 a.m. Thursday night. Peace.
The college basketball excitement has begun, and you could be on your way to see the championship game live on April 8th with Duffy's Sports Grill's MVP Huge March giveaway. Every visit now through March 31st will earn you an entry. The more you visit, the better your chances to win. So grab your MVP card and head over to Duffy's and enjoy their new courtside favorites, award-winning certified Angus beef burgers and 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And remember,
at Duffy's, our game is always on. Weezer, Indie Rock Road Trip. Coming your way, Saturday, September 21st, Hard Rock Live. Weezer, live, with special guests, The Flaming Lips and Dinosaur Jr. On sale now at myhrl.com. Weezer, don't miss out.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
See this garage door? I gotta be honest with you. It's ugly. I mean, successful, attractive homeowner like you, it's time to move on. This is not the garage door your parents thought you'd spend the rest of your life with. And that ain't true with everything in life, don't get me wrong. I mean, honey, if you're listening, you can't divorce me just because I'm no longer the handsome stud you married. But your garage door? The neighbors all think you can totally do better. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Let us show you how many sexy new alternatives there are. Just waiting for someone like you. You swipe right on a beautiful new design, we install everything in a lovely ceremony, and you and your new garage door live happily ever after. For better, not worse. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come make it right. Maybe I should pick up some flowers on the way home.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Get ready for a major iHeartRadio Music Awards announcement. Be here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon & Partners Weather Center. Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are going to stay clear and sunny as we go through the remainder of our Wednesday. It's a cool and comfortable afternoon as well. Temperatures near the mid-70s today. Still a couple degrees below average for this time of the year. We're going to stay dry and sunny again for your third day. Near 79 degrees tomorrow, and then our next weather maker moves in on Friday, and it brings more rain to start the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Florida Power and Light.
FPL is looking at other ways to produce energy that down the line will reduce my bill.
My name is Amy. I've been with FPL over 6 years. There's so many initiatives to continue to deliver clean, reliable, and safe energy to our customers.
Learn more at FPL.com.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows will help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Make this tournament your best ever with a VEASAN Pro subscription. Now for only $199 and get everything VEASAN has to offer for a full year. You'll get daily best bets from all VEASAN experts and detailed betting splits to see where the smart money is moving. Plus, access to our March Mania betting guide crafted exclusively for VEASAN Pro subscribers. Grab your annual VEASAN Pro subscription today for just $199 with promo code MANIA. Visit VEASAN.com/pro to sign up and be part of the sports betting network.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Looking for sports betting tips? Every VEASAN show has a pro tip every day from one of our experts to help you as a sports bettor. Become a VEASAN Pro subscriber and get access to all of our pro tips every day. Just head to VSIN.com/subscribe.
We're just a couple weeks away from opening day. Let's take a look at the latest odds to win the World Series. I'm Tim Murray from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. The Los Angeles Dodgers, who are busy this offseason bringing in Shohei Ohtani, they are the favorites to win the World Series. 162 record just a year ago, NL West champs, but did lose in the NLDS to the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Atlanta Braves plus 450 to win the World Series. 104 wins just a year ago, won the NL East, but knocked out for a second straight year by the Philadelphia Phillies in the postseason. The Houston Astros.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in to The Penthouse. Hopefully you've enjoyed your time so far. And if you're just getting here, well, welcome. This is Franny. I have Jimmy with me. Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Good afternoon.
And as I mentioned, if you're just tuning in, you may notice that we do not have Greek with us. He will be back on Monday, but we do have Jason. What a treat.
From the Palm Beaches Classic Rock 98.7 The Gator. Jason and Freddie in the morning. Blah, blah, blah. Is that puke enough for you, Jimmy?
It's very,
you like that?
very
puke. Can we work on that, please?
Sure.
Oh, you want it more pukey? and of
Come
course,
on now. You really got to get into it.
And of course, we have you out there.
Rocking the docks and reaching the beaches. It's 98.7 The Gator.
Drop your socks
So
and grab
glad.
your...
I'm so glad you don't talk like that. But please be the fourth seat in the Penthouse.
That used to be a thing back in the
I
day.
know.
Franny. Like,
and
I
so
never
were those
understood
wacky
it.
names,
Yeah.
too. I remember when I first started radio, they're like, what do you want to be called? I was like,
Franny.
I was like, I don't know, should be called something else. But yes, you always can. 47142. Start that off with Real Radio. Our boy Jimmy has an email, jimmy@realradio921.com.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
And it is time for fun facts.
It's Franny's Fun Facts.
So I like to base the fun facts on whatever holiday it is. So I'll let you know a couple of them before we get into them. It's International Day of Happiness. It's National Proposal Day. Look how happy you are. Well, speaking of, let me give them a shout out. Real TV. You can see Jason, Jimmy, and myself. That's realradio921.com. Click on that link, Real TV, and that is brought to you by our friend Jason Weiser. That's Schuler, Weiser, Zoller, Overbeck, and Baxter, attorneys at law. Thank you so much for sponsoring that. National Proposal Day. If you were listening in the beginning, you may have heard Jimmy talk about National Ravioli Day. You put it in,
yes, that's right.
in the
Yeah.
intro.
Mhm.
National Ravioli Day. It's Astrology Day. Speaking of National Ravioli Day, side note, you know, that's how it happens here in the Penthouse.
Squirrel.
We need AD or Adderall or whatever. But I saw it was a big T-bone steak. It was at a restaurant. It looked like not a T-bone. What am I trying to think?
Tomahawk.
Tomahawk, thank you. It was a tomahawk steak, and it was beautiful looking, just that alone. And on top of it was one massive, giant ravioli.
Oh.
And you may not like this, Jimmy, because I know you're not a seafood fan, but when you cut open the ravioli, it was a lobster and shrimp, like, bisque that came out of it.
Oh,
I know.
what?
I was like, take me there right now. It's in West Del Rey somewhere. I'm coming after you.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Right? So
When it comes to ravioli, do you like yours stuffed with meat?
I do, Jimmy, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Or cheese.
I like
that's
I
obviously
like mine
cheese.
stuffed with
Another popular
anything,
one.
to be honest with you.
Really?
And nobody likes an empty ravioli.
Hmm.
So it
then
is
it's just pasta.
Exactly. It is Alien Abduction Day. So I have some interesting facts about, is that what it sounds like when you get probed? About aliens. And it's not necessarily about abduction because there's not too many out there. I mean, I know there's a lot of people claiming they've been abducted. In fact, I did a story on Mornings on the Gator about some guy who claims he was abducted and they took his seed, his sperm, because they wanted to.
Thanks for clarifying.
I knew it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys were thinking like apple seeds
We just got
You got mansplained.
mansplained there.
By a woman. I mansplained you. Because he wanted to, he said the aliens wanted to create a alien human baby.
An alien-human hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid baby.
Wait till you get to season 2 of Resident Alien.
Okay.
You'll see what he's talking about.
All right. And he also claims that his uncle, long-lost uncle, has the same exact story as him.
Oh, wow.
Very weird. But yes, this is crazy. Just between 1948 and 1969, there were over 12,618 UFO sightings. That's insane. Just those years. They had more sightings back then than they did now. And I always wonder, do you think maybe it's because the skies were clear, we don't have as much air pollution, congestion out there?
Feels like we have more now. Well, I mean, obviously I wasn't around then,
Yeah.
but still, it feels like there's
It's more prevalent because of social media.
You hear about it more now, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, even in our military that's reporting some.
Now they are, yeah. See, there's a secret panel that was developed to investigate UFO sightings. That happened in 1953. The CIA prompted the government to develop a secret panel to investigate sightings in 1953 because they were just getting inundated with phone calls. But the panel included physicists, astronomers, and a rocket engineer. Also claim here with this, we have interesting stuff. A UFO in Los Angeles caused 5 deaths in 1942. Shortly after the U.S. joined World War II, there was an air attack over Los Angeles after an unidentified flying object was seen. They said at the time, the newspaper published a number of reports and speculations of a cover-up to conceal an actual invasion by enemy airplanes. So when they were documenting this, of course, they were like, oh, it's a weather balloon as the cause of the hysteria. But still to this day, they're like, I don't know. But they're saying because of what happened and the chaos, 3 people died in car accidents and 2 died of heart attacks.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? Yep. It is Alien Invasion Day. Is that what I said? Alien Abduction Day, excuse me. And these are some fun facts for it. We also have here, we've heard about Heaven's Gate, right?
Yeah.
The anticipation.
Purple Kool-Aid, right? The Nikes.
The anticipation of that UFO sighting caused mass suicide, claiming 39 victims in 1997. God, I can't believe it was just 1997.
Just 1997? That was a long
Well,
time
I
ago.
know, but I'm talking about I was old enough to remember that, but I don't remember it that much.
Franny, you were only like 5 years old. I know what you're talking about.
Thank you for that.
5 or 3?
I was 15, but thank you.
Okay.
Heaven's Gate was a religious cult led by Marshall Applewhite, whose members were convinced that an alien spacecraft was hidden behind a comet so that it would be undetected. Him and his 38 followers drank a lethal mixture, and then they just lay down to die.
It was the Kool-Aid was Jonestown, not Heaven's Gate. That's I got them conflated there, or confused rather, for a minute there.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember the one.
Jonestown Massacre, I believe, happened in Africa, and it was a compound.
Was that an alien thing too?
No.
Okay.
That was just a cult.
Got it.
That was, I believe, in Jonestown, South Africa. I'm butchering this. My facts are way off, but they were living on a compound, and the leader convinced everybody on the compound to drink the Kool-Aid. That's where the phrase "drink the Kool-Aid" comes from.
Interesting. Yeah, I did not know that. And then on an alien abduction day, we have here that thousands of Americans have taken out insurance against aliens.
You can insure anything.
I did not know this was a thing. As preposterous as it may seem, there are a great number of people who have taken out insurance against being abducted by aliens. One insurance broker, Mike St. Lawrence, has been selling this insurance, what a scammer, for 34 years. He sells the $10 million alien abduction insurance policy for just a mere $24.95.
He's providing a service, Franny.
Is it crazy? Well, I mean, that's why, because a lot of people, according to ABC News, whether we believe or not, a growing number of people are convinced that they have been abducted by aliens. Yes, they said psychologists do believe our media-generated images of alien kidnappings can become easily ingrained in our subconscious and then vividly reenacted in our dreams. So that's their claim, is that it's just one big dream. You were never abducted. And there you go for your alien abduction day here on the Penthouse.
Devotion to accuracy. Jonestown was in Guyana, not South Africa.
Okay, got it. But still Africa.
Yeah.
Did you see I said that with a question mark?
Yeah.
Did you see the question mark above my head?
It's a big continent,
Okay,
Franny.
got it. It is. It's huge. It's
At the
massive.
very bottom, there's a place called South Africa.
Yes, I know that part.
Okay.
Yes, I understand. Do we have a phone call, Jimmy?
We do. We have our buddy Jorge checking in with us. Hey, Jorge, what's going on?
And not too much. Happy Wednesday to everyone, and welcome there, Jason.
Thank you.
What's going on with you, Jorge?
Same old, buddy. Franny.
What's up, Jorge?
Not too much. We wouldn't have this alien problem if they would just fix the damn border,
Oh, my goodness. Different kind.
It's not funny. There's a massive humanitarian issue happening there, Jorge, and I'm offended.
Different kind.
I think that's even funnier.
Old Jason, you remind me of Murray the K.
I am offended twice in a row now.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
Why you got it out for me today, Jorge?
Murray the K?
Who's that? Do you know?
Murray the K, the swinging soiree. Yeah, he was a disc.
You calling me a swinger? Man, you got it out for me today, Jorge. What's going on?
That's
Jimmy. That's me. Yeah.
Murray,
Don't take that away from me.
Wait,
Jesus.
Murray, are we saying Murray McKay? I got to look this guy up.
Murray the K. He was Kaufman.
The K.
His last name.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm looking right now. He is Murray the K, influential New York City rock and roll and impresario? I don't know, Jim. I don't know.
Maybe he was an old-time disc jockey. I don't
Maybe.
Oh yeah, you should listen to one of his lines there when he was a DJ. You know, he just had this long spiel that he would say. You know, about himself, selling himself. You know.
Oh, okay. We'll see if we can find some audio of him because, yeah, he had a hell of a career. It looks like disc jockey 50s, 60s, 70s. And during the early days of Beatlemania, he frequently referred to himself as one of the Beatles. He was the fifth Beatle. This guy did.
Are you familiar with Jim Kerr?
Jim Kerr, he played hockey for the Rangers, didn't he?
I was talking about Jim Kerr, who is on the air. He's now celebrating 50 years as a morning show host in New York City. He's actually on our sister station, Q104, up there. And he actually just had a really legendary conversation with Howard Stern just the other day. So that's why I asked. That's all.
Very cool.
You talk about a guy with a set of pipes and an amazing host. That's Jim Kerr.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't associate with people that associate with Howard Stern, Jason.
Yeah, you don't listen much, Jason. I know you do every now and then. Jorge doesn't like a lot of people. Yes, including
he's been coming after me. He's been coming after me since the second he got on the phone. So I guess I understand it.
A lot of hate for Tom Brady. A lot of hate for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
A lot of hate for Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with him on those three.
Just name a few.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all I got, guys.
Oh, thank you, Jorge, for participating.
Way to bring it.
I thank you, but I'm offended.
So I've been teasing this for a bit. And if you have your very own life hacks that you swear by but sound totally bogus, but you're like, I swear to God, they're not, like this literally works.
Ideal Nutrition. It's the best thing ever. It's saved me from having to spend time in the kitchen.
Is that your life hack?
Yeah, idealnutritionnow.com.
Look at
That's a nice life hack.
Got myself some beef, Mongolian beef today.
I'm going vegan meatballs today.
Oh, look at you. You were vegan yesterday, too.
Yeah.
I feel like I turned into a little vegan over
I
here.
had meatballs.
So life hacks, this was a Reddit thread and people are sharing things. And some of these I'm actually like, okay, that's pretty cool. I might actually utilize this. I don't utilize hard drives but they said somebody in particular.
Did you say hard drives or hard drugs?
Hard drives.
Oh.
I don't know, both. Put your hard drive in the freezer to get it to spin up one more time.
Oh, I saw a couple. Okay,
It says, I swear to God, I thought it was BS until I was out of options and I tried it. The damn thing came back on a few more times and I got the data off of it that I needed.
Okay.
So if you ever have any issues with that, this one I like. And I've told you my little life hack is I just pay it. Is it a life hack just to pay attention to people when they talk? So, or when.
Who does that?
Because this one in particular says when you don't know what to give someone, look through who they follow on Instagram, such as artists and bands, and then you can buy them something from them. Right?
Yeah.
Like concert tickets or whatever that may be. I mean, I always think that's a good idea for a gift is to give somebody concert tickets or maybe, I don't know how many people do vinyl these days, but something like that.
I do vinyl. I don't follow any of the bands that I like on Instagram.
No?
Now that you say that, it's like, no, I don't. And I used to on Facebook. I don't even know if that's still in my like list or whatever that is. But
or sports teams or things like that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You can't. For guys, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But no, like what I'll do, especially with my in-laws, if I'm at their house or we're doing something and we're in the kitchen and she's like, oh, I don't have that. I'll ask her for something and I make sure to put it in my notes because I'm like, oh, good idea. Next time I'm thinking about shopping for a present. Also on here, we have life hacks. If you feel nauseous, they say sniffing on rubbing alcohol gets rid of nausea.
It also gives you a killer buzz, too.
Is that why?
Oh, wow.
This is nausea from being drunk and that's a bit of the hair of the dog?
I guess.
Be right back.
This one.
Boy, I wish you had that on Monday, Granny.
Me too. And I bet you there's rubbing alcohol in here somewhere for the next time. I bought those patches
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting them in the mail today.
She's referring to these hangover patches that you
Yes.
put on before you start drinking
Yes.
or whatever. So I expect a full report.
Yeah, somebody who listens to Real Radio has been like, you got to get these patches. You got to get these patches. So I finally got them. But they say if you're maybe in class right now listening to us, try raising one foot a little off the ground to test how long you can stay awake in class or during a meeting if you're experiencing problems staying awake. So just by lifting 1 foot, what if your feet don't touch the ground? What do you do?
Or do a
You're
bump
always awake.
Or do a bump.
Okay. There you go.
If you have
Why
trouble
not? Why
falling
not?
asleep in a meeting.
I have a
I don't
buddy.
think the boss will mind.
I have a buddy who used to bring smelling salts behind the bar when we'd have to work long shifts.
Jesus.
And
That's a bit aggressive.
And he would do that and I remember one time he snuck one underneath my nose, and those things will like feel like it's burning the hair in your nostrils. The smelling salts are so strong.
Don't they cause a rush of adrenaline
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Like I see the guys on the sidelines, NFL games, when they got this, they break out the smelling salts. I saw Tom Brady huffing them one time.
Yes.
And like
They're extreme.
Yeah.
They
And
are.
Apparently, just like it's just
Short term, but it's a little something, a little boost, right?
And this guy used to bring him behind the bar. He would do them just to wake
Sounds like a
himself
nut
up.
job.
A little bit. Still love him if he's listening. I know he listens. Also on here, life hacks that people swear by. I believe we talked about this before. Warheads. That extremely sour candy that when you're having a panic attack or a bit of anxiety, they said it doesn't solve your problem, but it does snap you out of the panic for a minute.
For a minute, yeah.
And I have heard that.
Oh, all right.
I get it.
Sourness.
I guess that you're
kind of does
concentrating on
something-
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's basically like putting your mind on something else, and that's an extreme sour. I mean, I'm sure if somebody pinched you really hard, it might be the same thing.
Sure.
This one, if you're drunk and go to bed and the room is spinning, I've heard this before. Say put 1 foot out of the bed and on the floor. It'll immediately stop the spins.
It works.
That's an old one.
Yeah.
Is it?
It does work too, but unless you got like a high profile bed, you can't touch the floor.
Like myself. Can't touch the floor.
Vertically challenged
Yeah,
like
right.
Franny and I.
If you live alone, we talked about choking yesterday and how to teach yourself to do the Heimlich over a chair. They say they make anti-choking devices. There's
It's called teeth. You chew.
But sometimes you just choke anyways. It could happen.
That kind of choking.
So there's a brand. They're D-Choker, LifeVac, etc. Do some shopping research and pick whatever you see fit. Thousands of people die every year to choking because of foods and liquids. Can't chew on a liquid, Jason. Small swallowed objects.
Did you say life vac?
LifeVac is what it says.
It's like a vacuum to suck
I
the
don't
object
know.
out of your throat?
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but one's called one is D-Choker, D-Choker, and LifeVac is another one that they
D-Choker.
D-Choker, yeah. But they said that people that live by themselves are at higher risk since usually there's nobody around to assist them. Yep. So they say get one of those apparatuses at your home. This one's funny.
D-Choker for D's nuts.
They said yell at your vacuum cleaner to get your dogs to stop barking at it. So if your dogs are barking in the vacuum or they're scared, they say you yell at it. Apparently, it helps your dogs realize that you're dominant over the vacuum, so they stop trying to protect you from it. So that's why they're barking. They're protecting you from it.
My dogs are not barking. They are running away
Mine
because they
are
are the
too.
biggest
Mine too,
puss
yeah.
bags.
Mine are too, except the new one. She is fearless. She is not afraid of anything, and she will lay there. And there has been a moment where that Roomba has sucked up her tail, and I had
Really?
to cut it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
'Cause she doesn't move. She just lets it just
Oh,
vacuum all around her. The other two are scared.
That thing, King, it can't get anywhere near King. He's gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But they said it sounds like BS, but I literally did it once, and my dogs have never barked at the vacuum again.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
All right.
Uh-huh.
A strange one, but
Yeah, yep.
Guess they're out there, huh?
There are some strange ones. This one, too. These are life hacks. If you have any, let us know. 47142 started off with Real Radio. This is odd, and I'm going to try it. You know what? We should try it during the break or at some time and videotape it. Just go far away from our car. Because they say if you hold your car key fob up to your throat, the signal goes farther.
Huh? Up to your throat?
No, it says if you hold your car key fob up to your throat, the signal will go farther.
I guess they're saying that the signal then gets amplified by the the cone shape that your mouth would make and allow it to, project further. Maybe I don't know. We can try it.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that we're gonna have to try.
All right.
And then finally here, the 2-minute rule. Maybe different in your house, but this 2-minute rule, if it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it right now. They said it greatly helps for people who like to procrastinate. Whether it's folding a few shirts, making a phone call, putting away groceries, putting something in the kitchen away, cleaning, whatever it is. if you put off those trivial small things over time, they stack up and all become too overwhelming to do. So the claim is you just follow that 2-minute rule. If you're like, you know what, it's only going to take me 2 minutes, just get it out of the way. They said that you're going to find that you're more organized and there are less annoyances that are going to get in the way of the real things you need to do.
You know, there's plenty of jokes there, 2-minute jokes
Of
there
course.
you can play with. But that is one thing, because that's a slight bit of a pet peeve of mine, is when dishes get done and it's great, it's nice, and then they sit there and they dry to the side of the sink when it would only take about 30 seconds to dry them and put them away.
Yep. Yeah.
It is.
I think we just had a
True.
hot button topic for Jim.
That's annoying.
But the 2-minute rule, you got to get into it. 47142 started off with Real Radio. Jason, you are correct. I have 2 family members with homes on San Anastasia Island, and you can drive along stretches.
Okay.
They said, I think there's a fee. And then they brought up the shot girl who's doing those hurricane shots and killing it. She said, I think it's illegal in Florida to resell bar restaurant liquor. So I'm sure after this made the news, Florida ABT will be acting and cracking down on the fun. Now, I don't know. So maybe she just she buys it and she just charges, but she gets to keep the $30 herself.
Yeah, she may not be selling the booze per se.
It's a tip.
Yeah.
Right.
So she buys the booze because I've had it. I worked in restaurant industries for a long time, bartending, and we've had promo girls, we call it. Especially if there's a new liquor coming out. And they will they don't bring their bottles all the time. They'll purchase the product from us that they're promoting, and then they go out and give samples.
Right.
So maybe that's what she considers $30 charging, but she can't necessarily call it a fee.
Could be. Well, after we wrapped up our show this morning, we were getting ready for, on the Gator, we were getting ready for the Penthouse. I was listening to Rover's Morning Glory, and I believe Rover bought tickets for Jeffrey LaRoque and their phone screener to come on down and do shots from this very person in Fort Lauderdale this weekend. Yeah, him and Crystal will be coming down in theory,
love it.
so I hope it happens.
They should. I mean, we're not that far away, you guys. It's a field trip.
I want nothing to do with spring break in Lauderdale right now.
We can take the Bright Line. Bright Line to Lauderdale. Just take an Uber, get the shot done, hop back up on the Bright Line, and go back home.
As long as we're nowhere near Jeffrey LaRoque.
Okay.
Franny, trust me, I worked closely with that crew for a long time. You
All
don't
right.
want him anywhere near
Okay,
you.
all right, you got it. And then 2 famous DeChokers, Lovelace and Lewinsky. Thank you for those text messages.
It's true. This is true.
And that's just one of the many ways for you to participate. I know. Now, when we come back, we do have another trifecta on your way. Make sure you're tuned in around 1:35 because we don't have G-Man. We are still doing our very own WWGD right here on the Penthouse. We have more coming your way when we come back on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
They're trying to get rid of hotel bathtubs, and I just can't stand for it.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't take your side.
Sealand, you've used a hotel bathtub before. I've seen it. Wait.
The news junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Here's traffic on Real Radio.
Expressways along the Palm Beaches look good. We're up to speed on the Turnpike at 95. Flagler Drive shut down downtown West Palm Beach from Okeechobee Boulevard to Banyan due to the upcoming Palm Beach International Boat Show. Avoid that area. You can use Quadro Boulevard instead. That's traffic. I'm Judy Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Total Wine & More. Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles at the lowest prices in 30 years, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single barrel bourbon to try. Find what you love and love what you find. Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Hey, it's a Greek. When I like something, I don't change. I like brunettes for a long time. I'm wearing Armani since I'm 12, and I'm a Yankee fan. And I found my favorite cigar, and it's Vega Fina. Take it from your boy. I love the way it smokes, and I enjoy it after a tough day. You know my life's tough. It's Vega Fina. If I don't know who to bet in a game, I go with a Vega Fina. It clears my mind. And at the track, I love winning on long shots and smoking a Vega Fina. Vega Finas can be purchased at Casa Monte Cristo and Boca Raton. Puff, puff, baby. Peace.
Weezer, Indie Rock Road Trip. Coming your way, Saturday, September 21st, Hard Rock Live. Weezer, live, with special guests, The Flaming Lips and Dinosaur Jr. On sale now at myhrl.com. Weezer, don't miss out.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows will help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
See this garage door? I gotta be honest with you. It's ugly. I mean, successful, attractive homeowner like you, it's time to move on. This is not the garage door your parents thought you'd spend the rest of your life with. And that ain't true with everything in life, don't get me wrong. I mean, honey, if you're listening, you can't divorce me just because I'm no longer the handsome stud you married. But your garage door? The neighbors all think you can totally do better. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Let us show you how many sexy new alternatives there are. Just waiting for someone like you. You swipe right on a beautiful new design, we install everything in a lovely ceremony, and you and your new garage door live happily ever after. For better, not worse. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come make it right. Maybe I should pick up some flowers on the way home.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's the Greek for Trajan Wealth. Not planning today can cost you tomorrow. Stop worrying and start planning with Trajan Wealth. Contact Trajan Wealth today at 561-390-1000, 561-390-1000. Go to TrajanWealth.com for more information. People who succeed in life have a plan, and they're not only thinking about today, they're thinking about their future. You worked hard, and guess what? You earn a good retirement, and you should have a good plan so you can reach your goals. So start planning today for tomorrow. It'll be here before you know it. I don't care how long you're working. The calendar changes every day, and every day you're close to retirement, and you should be ready, and you need a plan. So call Trajan Wealth today, 561-390-1000, 561-390-1000. Offices in West Palm Beach, they're right here for a free consultation. Step into one of our offices and figure out your plan. Trajan Wealth, they can help you. 561-390-1000. Peace. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Silk's delicious plant-based beverages help bring a daily dose of goodness to help you feel plenty good. They are rich in calcium and a good source of vitamins A and D to support the health of you and your family. Shop wherever you find groceries.
Real Radio weather.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are going to stay clear and sunny as we go through the remainder of our Wednesday. It's a cool and comfortable afternoon as well. Temperatures near the mid-70s today. Still a couple degrees below average for this time of year. We're going to stay dry and sunny again for your Thursday, near 79 degrees tomorrow, and then our next weather maker moves in on Friday, and it brings more rain to start the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
NFL Total Access, the podcast, is getting you ready for the NFL Draft. I'm your host, Andrew Levy, and I'll be delivering 2 shows a week to make sure you're caught up on the latest NFL news, every free agency move, and how it changes the draft needs of your NFL team. Draft experts, talent scouts, mock drafts, and shock drafts too. NFL Total Access, the podcast, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Presented by T-Mobile for Business. Now is the time for 5G business.
What Would Greek Do is brought to you by Monroe's of Palm Beach.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast.
Hey, Jimmy, so you want a challenge to a whip-off contest? Well, okay, I'll try, but I don't know how long I can keep my mouth open wide. Oh.
Hey! Jason! Glad you're taking over for Greek! Watch out with that Gators trash! We don't play that around here! Woo! Go Dogs!
You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Take your Georgia crap, send it right back over that border.
I love that guy. Mike is the best. He is.
Go Gators.
If you're wondering, you're like, hey, who's that? Well, those are people who leave us talkbacks, and you can do the same on the absolutely free iHeartRadio app. Just download it, search Real Radio 921, click on the microphone icon, and just like that, that is a talkback. Good afternoon. This is Franny. Good afternoon to you, Jimmy.
Hello, and good afternoon.
And good afternoon to Jason.
Good afternoon. That guy's got an impressive scream.
He does.
That's pretty good.
It's solid. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
During football season, we get a lot of him, not that often. So thank you for bringing up the Gators, because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have had a Go Dogs.
I am the aforementioned Jason from the Jason and Franny Morning Show, 98.7 The Gator. Thanks for having me and hanging out today. I do appreciate it, guys.
And he's no stranger to Real Radio, and that's why a lot of people are very familiar with him, and I can tell from that text line at 47142. But we do not have Greek for the week, but thank goodness we have Jimmy, because he's handling Greek's trifecta.
Riders up. It's Greek's Trifecta.
Well, we're going to start in a little college hoops where the men's played last night. Colorado State upended Virginia 67-42, and Wagner edged out Howard 71-68. Now, as far as tonight, we got a couple more play-in games tonight. Grambling takes on Montana, and Colorado will play Boise State. And that should set up your 64 team for March Madness. If you are missing a little Conor McGregor in your life, have no fear. He might be coming back this summer. He is confident he will return to mixed martial arts with a UFC fight again against Michael Chandler sometime this summer. McGregor did not specify a date, event, or weight class, but the big fight he claims will be in time in this summer. The fight has been teased since February of 2023. Well, gee, talk about a tease, huh? But apparently he claims it's going to happen. They were talking about maybe UFC International Fight Week of June 29th, so keep an eye out for that if you're a big Conor McGregor fan. Finally, The New Jersey Jets signed former Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams this week. That has a maximum value of about 15 million buckaroos.
Ends up.
The Jets went into free agency looking to upgrade at the position opposite Garrett Wilson, a current 1,000-yard receiver each of his first 2 seasons with the Jets, by the way. Williams led the NFL with 15.8 yards per reception among players with at least 200 catches. I still say that if they don't shore up that O-line, the Jets are going to be in disarray again this year. And that is your Greeks trifecta.
Agreed with you, but those are some weapons that he's got to aim for, man.
Yep. Yeah, as long as he can stay upright.
Yep.
To throw to him, and that him is Aaron Rodgers, of course. Yeah.
So, Jimmy, if somebody's looking for a new gig out there, you might have the job for him.
Here it is. If you're bored at your old office job, looking for some excitement in your life, look no further than a recent job posting for a penguin counter at the Antarctica Post Office. That's right. You could work there.
Are there that many penguins at the post office? What's going on over there?
Apparently, it's something that they need. This was in the New York Post. The UK Antarctic Heritage Trust is looking for 5 individuals to engage in counting penguins and sorting mail at the world's southernmost post office, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity at extremely remote location.
What's it pay?
While it sounds like an exceedingly lonely gig, some 700 nautical miles south of the tip of Argentina, this was it Goldier Island, I guess is how you say that, is visited by thousands of cruise ships per year. Beyond frequent cruise ship visits, employees at the site will be busy processing over 10,000 pieces of mail over the summer. Anything that's sent from the location takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to reach its destination. Okay. Now, here you go. Here's your point. Let's see. Oh, and then, of course, you got to count penguins. The job lasts 5 months. It doesn't pay much, and there's no running water, no showers, no flushing toilets, limited power, and absolutely no cell phone service.
Boy, they really know how to sell it.
Way to sell it, and that's exactly how I had that.
You got to really love penguins in order to deal through that hell, it sounds like. I don't know. Maybe sign up my husband. He has this weird.
You want to get rid of him?
No, he just loves penguins so much.
I get it.
He almost illegally bought one.
And put it in your freezer?
He was going to put it in the freezer. I don't know
Where else are you going to keep it?
Well, because there's some penguins that can live in warm climates. Not all of them.
but not the emperor penguin. He's got to be cold.
No, he likes the crested, the ones that have the crazy mohawky kind of hair. He's a crested penguin kind of guy.
What about the ones that goes after Batman?
Like Danny DeVito. Still, I think one of the best villains.
Oh, absolutely.
In the Batman movies.
No doubt about it.
But yeah, so he just loves that. But I guess it's the same infatuation I have for otters and sloths, but same thing. He definitely wants one.
I see.
But I saw this.
That was Burgess Meredith.
And,
right?
And I think it would just be hard just to count all his penguins. They all look alike too. Right?
I mean, yeah, unless you line them up in a row and put them in a grid.
Stand in a row, penguins.
Yeah, penguin racist right there.
Kind of am. They all do look alike. Have you seen them? And then, speaking of something you probably don't need a degree for, they are so cute when they waddle.
Big. Look,
some of them can
emperor penguins are like 3-4 foot tall. Yeah,
they are. I've seen them. They're
huge.
Take
you out, Franny.
There is, if you ever go to the Atlanta Sea Aquarium, it's a great sea aquarium if you haven't been out there. But they do the marching of the penguins. So every couple hours they come and they go around and they all march around and you can just take pictures.
That is cool.
It is. It's really fun.
SeaWorld had some too, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, I think that's where I saw them last.
Yes, they do.
And that is a lot of fun. They got a cold area for polar bears and things like that. Yeah.
Very, very cool. But yeah, I don't think you need a college major. I don't think you need a degree to do that. But they did come out. They revealed the best and worst paying college majors after 5 years. And some graduates will be earning more than double others. So I hear it all the time. And when people are like, oh, I'm getting a degree in art and this and that, they're like, well, why?
I'm going to get a degree in liberal arts.
What are you going to do with that?
So I can go dance somewhere.
So speaking of, I'm going to let you know. And it was a big thing that was done. And they even talk about how half of U.S. companies intend to eliminate bachelor's degree requirements for some job positions next year, according to a survey.
Good.
The NY Fed's labor market for recent college graduate study considered the early and mid-career earnings for graduates to have studied some 75 majors that they were looking at. But this data was compiled using results from the most recent U.S. Census back in 2022. So if you have these majors, they consider these to be the lowest paying majors. Now we have on here for $38,000. It is theology. So let me put this down here. Yep, they have $38,000 if that's your major. Performing arts, $38K. Liberal arts, $38K.
Damn liberals.
Leisure. I can't do anything political here. Get them going. Leisure and hospitality, $39,700. Yes, these are average salaries with 5 years of graduation. This is the lowest paying majors. Early childhood education, $40K. Elementary, that's probably more than they make now here, even if they've been doing it for a while.
Uh-huh.
Elementary education, $40K. These are national numbers, right? Social services, $40. Family and consumer science, $40. Psychology, $40. Nutrition science, $40. Lowest. Now, if you're like, I want to make some money, especially right when I get out of college, these are the highest paying majors. And it's not super crazy, but okay. 5-year college, right? We're not talking about going to an extra 4 years to be a doctor or anything like that.
Well, I was going to
no.
Law.
That's not,
I was gonna ask
or
about
law,
if
that's
law
not
would be on
included.
there. Okay.
They're saying 5 years of graduation.
Okay.
Finance, 66.
Sure.
I like this. Miscellaneous engineering, 68. General engineering, 68. A mechanical engineer gets out, makes 70.
Yeah.
All this is engineering. Industrial engineer, 71. Electrical engineer, 72. Aerospace engineer, 74. Point being, tell your kid to be an engineer. Computer science, 78. Chemical engineer, 79. And computer engineering, 80. I think just in general, anything in computers and technology and stuff like that, clearly engineering, that's something that's never going to go away.
Sure, I think that's something we've seen
progress.
for quite a while, too. And there's many different, you pointed out a couple of different areas where you could go with it, whereas mechanical or different things. One of my good friends is an engineer, and my daughter's boyfriend is an engineer, and he's young, and so he's in his 20s starting out into it, and it looks very prosperous.
You're thinking about it as just starting out of high school or out of college with a 5-year degree, but you also need to look at it through the lens of security too, or length of career as well. I mean, if you have a degree in engineering and you start in one company and you're like, I'm not feeling it, there's a bunch of other companies. Your options are much more wide.
Sure.
When you are an engineer. To your point, Jimmy, my dad was an engineer. He's been in all sorts of different businesses. A buddy of mine is a engineer out in Texas working for the oil fields. Man, he is making bank for that. I mean, engineering, and even in this world, engineers for media broadcasting are hard to come by if you can find a good one. I mean, really, trust me, we've gone through. I've had to figure out how to do this stuff by myself for a long time until I trust me, I have no experience doing it.
But you make it work for what you've taught
Not
yourself.
like these guys.
Of
and,
course.
and if you know what you're doing, boy, you can make good money doing it.
And it's I don't know as much with radio, but I mean radio extends to different like sound, right? So it's different types of sound engineers, but especially with mechanical, electrical, aerospace, engineering positions like that, they're not going anywhere.
No,
it's
they're only growing.
They're professions that are going to, if anything, expand.
I mean, case in point, I think Boeing's going to be hiring a bunch more very soon because they got some fixing they need to do. I mean,
even United Airlines is saying that they may steer away from Boeing and just do Airbus.
They're talking about Airbus now, but I mean, realistically, they're going to have to change the way they do business, and that's going to probably come at the hiring of a bunch more aerospace engineers, jet engine mechanics, and all sorts of different engineering there.
But don't talk against them because you might end up committing suicide.
Oh, you saw that?
I don't believe it. I think that guy got killed. There was rumor said that, and I don't know if this is true or not because I was listening to Rover's Morning Glory and they were doing their conspiracy.
Yeah, Dieter.
But some of the things that he says, I'll look up and I was like, yeah, he gets some factual information and then twisted in his own way. But saying that the guy told somebody like, hey, if I end up dead, I didn't commit suicide.
Right. I'm not surprised one bit. I mean,
is that those facts?
I don't know.
Yeah, one of his last words to his buddy. So. Yep, you never know.
Well, you just took us down a weird avenue, Franny. Talking conspiracies.
It happens.
Can we talk about the Russian elections?
We're
going to go on people dying.
Fifth or sixth term he got in a row.
Yeah.
This guy.
So speaking of engineering, aerospace, you said your dad worked.
Pratt & Whitney for a long time.
Pratt & Whitney for a long, long time. And I'm bringing this back up, something that you mentioned in the story, that they would create, what was it, like a panel?
Yeah, so what she's referring referring to is earlier in the show we were talking about I grew up here in Florida. My dad worked at Pratt & Whitney for 35, 40 years, and I remember as a little kid, they would take us, or Dad would take us to Family Day, where I think they did some test runs. They did some, air shows out there at Pratt & Whitney. And one of the things that they, at the time, I thought was really cool, and I'm sure it's antiquated tech now. I'm sure they still use it too. But they used to use a jet laser to cut,
sheet metal,
a
right?
water laser, basically. It's a high stream of water to cut the sheet metal. And they would make little trinkets for the kids that were out there for Family Day. And they gave me an F-16 outline that they used the water jet stream to cut the sheet metal with. I thought it was the coolest thing.
And it is cool. So that brings me to something, and you're like, well, maybe my mom still has it. And these are mementos. They were surveying people, talking about the things that your parents still keep from your baby and childhood years. And I know my mom gave me, because when she moved to Puerto Rico, she was downsizing a lot. And so she gave me a lot of my stuff. Right. And I didn't realize she had half of the stuff that she had, including stuff from high school, middle school, elementary school, but even stuff from my baby years.
Well, I was going to say, how about, like your first pacifier or something like that? Did she hold on to those, or first haircut or something?
So those are one of the weird things, right? In your teeth. Like, you think the tooth fairy takes them. The tooth fairy does take them, and then they give them to your parents after the fact so they can hold on to.
Tooth fairy's not real.
It is. That's why she gives. Nope. Your tooth fairy gives your teeth to your parents so they can hold on to it as a keepsake. But that's not the point.
Are you seriously worried about spring break in Palm Beach County and St. Lucie County being out? You think the kids are listening?
The
and
kids are listening.
Tooth fairy's fake.
Anyways.
I hope they're not listening.
Yeah.
With my potty mouth.
But so I was one day looking before I got all my stuff back, even like my little white baby dresses and stuff like that. But I was looking and I found this weird thing along with teeth. And I know it was my teeth and little clippings of hair, because they do. Those are normal things. But I found it. I was like, what is that? And it was in a bag, and it was very shriveled up, and it kind of looked like a raisin. It was gross.
I know what it is.
Oh, no. Foreskin.
For me,
Franny, it was your foreskin.
It was my foreskin.
Franny, though.
Yeah. They call me Frank. Foreskin. No, it was my umbilical cord.
I knew
silly.
it.
It was a shiver. It was a
I heard
shriveled.
it looks like beef jerky. Yeah.
But it was shriveled up, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, I didn't even want to know at the time. And Mom was like, "It's there," and I was like, "That's kind of gross."
So what did it taste like?
Wow.
So I did not know what it was, and I was quite grossed out by it. To me, I thought that was odd, but maybe it's not. Is there anything you can think of? Because I'll get into this. I mean, on average, what do they talk about? They talk about them holding onto their teeth. They talk about the footprint, the handprint, baby clothes, even pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, we know, a lock of baby's hair, or the tooth they lost. Those are the main mementos. Is there anything that you can think of that was very odd that your parents still held on to?
Franny, your thoughts on placentas?
I know some people eat them.
Yeah. Jimmy?
But that's not my only thought. I don't have a thought.
I've never eaten one.
What's your thought on them?
I don't think my mom held on to the placentas or anything. I said that in jest, but I have heard of that. A lot of people do take the placenta and eat it.
They said there's benefits to it, right?
Yeah. One woman that I remember recently talking about it, I don't remember what it was specifically, but she took her placenta and sent it to a company in California, which, broke it down and put it into pill form.
Huh.
And she afterward got those pills back, ate those pills, and it helped relieve her of her postpartum depression.
Interesting.
So I've heard of that before.
Okay.
But I've also heard of people just like holding it.
Is that maybe just all up
It's
here?
probably all upstairs, but you never know. But I have heard people holding onto placentas.
Yeah, I've heard. So I'm looking at this placenta. You could dry it, put it in pills. You could stir fry it with onions. You could even eat it raw in the delivery room.
Hope you're enjoying your lunch right now, by the way.
Oh, my God, right. They said the act of eating it after your birth isn't just something animals do, because I guess that's something that some animals do. Human moms do it too. And they claim there's all kinds of benefits to it as far as nutritional, even helping with breast milk. I don't know about any of this
rule
stuff.
of thumb for me.
I was going to say baby shoes.
Says it raises your energy and breast milk quantity.
Baby shoes.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing that I've seen.
Rule of thumb for me, if it comes out of my body, it doesn't go back in.
That should be a good rule of thumb.
Pretty smart, right?
Yeah.
I
There's
mean-
that one person who drinks her own urine. It's a female. And she is actually a quite attractive female, and she claims that it is what has kept her so youthful. This is her thing. She says it does it. She puts it on her body. She consumes it. and she says that it's keeping her. I don't know how good she smells. I don't know. But
Probably smells like pneumonia.
Yeah, she has a bunch of cats. So, is there anything that you could think of that you found that you're like, this is kind of odd, Mom? Why are you still holding on to this?
Hair.
That's it, just hair lock,
Probably,
lock of hair.
probably hair lock. I mean, first set of baby shoes was the first day, but again, that's not weird. Or at least I don't think it's weird.
No, I don't
My
think
mom
so.
just recently gave me the first blanket I ever had, like the, the
that's
tiny
exactly
little
where I
blankie,
was
that
going.
thing.
Okay.
But again, I don't. That's not weird
Yeah.
right, for them to hold on.
I
to
don't.
something
I don't
like
find
that.
it weird. I had 3 blankets when I was a little kid or a little baby, and one of them was pea. The other one was carrot,
Was
and the other
pea
one was
because you peed
chicken.
on it all
And
the
then pea was because I peed on it, and it was yellow, so it was just worked out. But
Oh, wow.
she had them up in the attic and just brought them down recently. But I don't think that's weird.
No, I don't,
think
so
it is either.
Yeah.
My mom's also a hoarder, so
Placenta. No, that's weird.
To hold on to that, but even the umbilical cord I thought was very weird.
That
and I didn't know what it was.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah, but when you're looking and you're like, why should she hold on to a raisin? And that's what it looks like. So if you have anything weird, let us know. 47142. That's the text line. You just have to start it off with Real Radio. Do we have anybody who has something weird on the line right now?
I don't know if he's got something weird, but we can ask him. Riggs, welcome to the Penthouse. Do you have something odd that maybe your mom or maybe you've kept with your kids?
Yeah, you've got kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a couple of things. The weird thing was we saved the teeth that the tooth fairy gave me after she put the $20 under the kid's pillow.
See, Jason, $20 is a lot.
Yeah,
but see, that's how it works. The tooth fairy gives it back to the parents. But holy moly, $20! Would they lose a whole row of teeth?
Jesus.
We needed some stuff from Home Depot, so I had to kind of spend a little bit.
Man, I was lucky if I got a buck, man. Tooth fairy. Man, inflation's a real deal.
Well, that's what he says. He gives the kids the $20 and then he takes it back and goes buys things at Home Depot.
Yeah.
So you get the teeth and the cash.
Yeah. Although I changed my mind on the teeth, though. I found it like a year later, and it was all black and gnarly. I'm like, why am I keeping this?
Yeah.
It looked worse than Franny's foreskin.
How do you know?
Oh, my goodness.
The life hack thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Franny, one of the ones that I learned from you was how to open a can of pop, a soda can. Like you press the back,
Yeah.
open the front. I never knew that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Where you, with the tab on the soda can, you press the front of it and it makes it lift up a bit so then you can easily open up the soda can?
No.
Or the beer can?
The front rounded side
Yep.
that actually pushes into. Okay, yeah.
You
I
tap
know what
on
you mean.
it?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yep.
Kind of bend it down a little bit.
And they say, like, and then you're
that-
supposed to turn it and you can put a straw in it too.
Well, that I've
hole.
heard, yeah.
Yes.
I never heard of the other trick.
Mhm. Well, Riggs, I'm glad you took
that's
something
mine.
from the show.
Yeah. My personal life hack is if you're unsure how to tackle a problem, ignore it, and it'll likely go away.
Oh, does it? Does it work like that?
I like that one, Riggs.
I don't know.
I like that one.
All right. I know we're at the end here, but go ahead.
Oh, no. You're good, Riggs. You're good. Somebody just texted because you said the $20, and we have a text saying $20 is now normal for teeth.
Get the
right
out of here.
Right?
I've seen it. We've read a
Crazy.
couple articles where, like what the going rate is, and I've seen $20 out there as
These
a
kids
fairly
are spoiled.
common
Now I sound
number.
like an old ass
You
man.
do.
Jeez.
God hates kids.
Yeah, my granddaughter got
Don't hate
$20.
kids, Franny.
Yeah, the 100 is the new 20 now, man. It's just how it is.
I wish I had your paycheck. Jeez, guy.
Yeah, that's how I've been telling to my employer. They don't believe me either, but that's... All right. Well, Greek, nice job today. You're sounding a lot better. Lessons are,
But again, I like to give acknowledgement and credit.
Well, thank you very much for giving that, Riggs.
We miss our little buddy, but thanks for calling, Riggs. It's always a pleasure.
Have a great day, bud.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. So we have Florida stories coming up next, including a couple that was doing something quite inappropriate in front of a Popeyes, and some spring breakers, I guess, forgot they had a kids. Plus, when it comes to skydiving, you never want to have the words hard landing in the middle of it, or like when you're done with it. Hard landing and skydiving just don't go well together.
This is true.
Yes. I have those stories and more coming your way in your What the Florida on Real Radio 92.1.
Because your pets are pretty lonely when you're gone. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio.
Experience the best of the Palm Beaches cuisine in one amazing location. Experience the flavors of unlimited samples paired with exquisite wines and craft beers. Experience the fun of live entertainment and VIP perks. The Tastings Food, Wine, and Craft Beer event is back Saturday, April 13th at Tanger Outlets Palm Beach. Taste the Palm Beaches for only $40. Want to be a VIP and get in an hour early? VIP tickets are just $50. Get your tickets now at pbtastings.com. That's pbtastings.com.
Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
You'll find a bit of a slowdown traveling 95 through Lake Worth. Accident now off to the right shoulder. It's 95 south at 10th Avenue North. Our drive times up to speed if you're on the turnpike throughout the Palm Beaches. That's traffic. I'm Judy Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Fresh from Florida.
Meal planning is work, so let Fresh from Florida help. Learn what's in season, browse hundreds of recipes, and get tips from Chef Justin by visiting freshfromflorida.com. Eat healthier with Fresh from Florida. There's sunshine in every bite.
Hey, it's Greg from Monroe's of Palm Beach, and this Thursday night, it's the international kickoff for the Palm Beach Boat Show. 7 to 10 in Legends Lounge. Monroe's is calling all captains, brokers, and employees to stop by for some beautiful ladies, great entertainment, and a great menu. An open bar from 7 to 10. It's Thursday night, March 21st. Make sure you stop in for Monroe's kickoff party for the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Monroe's of Palm Beach, open 7 days a week till 5 a.m. Thursday night. Peace.
Embark on a journey through the most absurd moments of the human story with Ridiculous History, the podcast that explores the bizarre corners of human existence, like the evolution of the toilet, the story of Comic Sans, or the exploits of the notorious Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr is like, one day, my life is going to be part of a musical.
However, though, he probably didn't necessarily at this point think that he was going to be the villain.
Listen to Ridiculous History on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
There are products that offer up to a 20% upfront bonus just for opening an account and up to 12% per year for retirement income. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I've heard from other advisors saying this is too good to be true. No, it's not. We are one of the few who can offer products like these because we're independent. We're not registered with a broker-dealer who tells us what we have to sell, and we don't have to answer to a board of directors who prioritize shareholders over clients. So, is an upfront bonus up to 20% and 12% per year growth for income too good to be true? For most advisors, yes, but not Trajan Wealth. The fact that many of our clients come from other financial advisors is a testament to our value. Experience the Trajan Wealth difference for yourself. Call 561-390-1000. That's 561-390-1000.
Annuity guarantees are based on claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. DBA in Florida as Trajan Wealth Insurance Agency.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Taxes and fees apply.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon & Partners Weather Center, have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are going to stay clear and sunny as we go through the remainder of our Wednesday. It's a cool and comfortable afternoon as well. Temperatures near the mid-70s today. Still a couple degrees below average for this time of year. We're going to stay dry and sunny again for your Thursday, near 79 degrees tomorrow. And then our next weather maker moves in on Friday, and it brings more rain to start the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
You guys are wondering where you can drive on the beach in St. Augustine. So down by the Lions Bridge, there's the castle. That's the downtown area. I believe it's US 1-ish kind of like we have in Juneau, where you can drive near the beach that goes south of there towards the water. St. Augustine Beach, you can drive on the beach. It's a little bit further away from downtown. You don't want to drive in that marshy area over there. Peace, guys.
Hey, Jason! What does Kirby Smart and your daddy have in common? It's the same guy! Woo! Go Dogs!
Oh, thank you, Daddy.
You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
We'll have to repeat that for Jason later. He's on a private call right now.
Is he really?
But yes, yeah, you can send us those talkbacks, those text messages, the phone calls, emails. We have so many ways for you to get in touch with us, and we love it when you do. You become that fourth member of the Penthouse. Speaking of the members of the Penthouse, I am Franny. We have Jimmy. Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, young lady.
Hi. And Greek is part of the Penthouse family, but he is taking a very well-deserved vacation to go see his mama and some friends up north. But we have Jason hanging out with us. And we also have some more Florida stories.
Florida.
Florida.
Did you say
Florida.
I'm from Florida.
WTF.
What the Florida?
Yeah. I know, Jimmy, you've never been skydiving. It's on your bucket list.
Not yet.
It's on
Gonna
your
do it,
bucket
though,
list.
one day.
One day. And I said, when you do it, I'm down to do it with you. I've done it before. I want to do it again. After reading these stories, it makes it go, ooh, but do you really? Yeah, I still do, because it's very rare, right? These injuries that happen. And we know you're jumping out of an airplane. It can happen. And 2 skydivers were injured Monday afternoon after, according to Polk County, made a hard landing. 3 skydivers were found around 3 p.m. And they said this is along the scenic highway. One of the skydivers was fine, not injured. The other 2 were ended up flown to a hospital, but are expected to be okay. Witnesses told police that one person's parachute appeared to be tangled while the other 2 were fine. The skydivers were part of a group of 14 people who jumped from 14,500 feet to practice their formations. The plane took off. A few of the skydivers ended up being fine, landing. They landed off course, but okay, nearby pastures. No other injuries, were reported, but they do believe that it was just the tangling up. And when Jimmy and I go, we're not going to be doing any formations, so we don't have to worry about that. Just get me tandem. And I did. The first time I skydove, I did, because I went with the Red Bull skydive team.
Right. And of course, if you were to do it now, you have to be like fully trained and everything, right, to jump on your own, correct? So anything that we ever did would have to be tandem.
Tandem,
That's what I thought.
Absolutely. You have to do a few jumps tandem, and then you have to do a bunch on your own, I think, or not a bunch, but I don't know how it works. I know that there's lessons involved until you're able to go on your own. But it's funny. It's definitely a treat. And I'm so little that I look like a baby in a baby pack. My legs wouldn't touch, and they're just like dangling in the wind. I was like, just push me out here. Still fun. I highly recommend it. So it looks like Jimmy and I will go in, because my husband will not do it. He has absolutely no interest in doing it. Now let's get back to the weird that you expect in your Florida stories. We have a couple in Florida that were enjoying themselves a little too much. In fact, they passed out on the beach. This is Volusia County. And the cops woke them up. They woke them up. Alyssa and Timothy, both 27. So they were abruptly woken up because they got a call. The sheriff's office did, that there was a man and a woman that had way too much to drink, and they were passed out on the beach. And the adults noticed, like earlier, hey, there was 2 children with them, and now we don't see the kids, and these 2 are knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of jokes that we can make here, but I mean, this really, the negligence on their part for their children is just not cool. Not
Absolutely.
Cool at all.
And yes, there is body cam footage that shows the deputy approaching the couple and stating who they're with the sheriff's department and saying, hello, it's time to wake up. After multiple attempts to wake up the 2, the deputy then yells louder at them. And he's like, welcome back, after nudging the guy several times. And he was like, sit up. He was like, do you have your children? Are they with you? And they said that Steven just kind of took his left hand and pointed to the ocean. Like, that's where they should be. Uh-huh. They said that next to them, they saw cans of alcohol, beer. They said various unsealed alcoholic beverages in the immediate vicinity, too. Eventually, they thought the kids were at the beach. Well, they weren't. Luckily, they were located at a nearby hotel pool, not the hotel they were staying at. So they ended up roaming on their own. The kiddos did. Unharmed and healthy, thank goodness. But the 2 were handcuffed at the beach. And when they asked, hey, like, why are we being arrested? They said, I only had like 2 beers. So they thought they were being arrested because they were drinking. And by the way, that's still illegal.
What, drinking?
Yeah, at the beach.
Public intoxication?
And you can hear the guy, he said 2 is still illegal, but you can hear the guy going, oh, I thought it was just glass. And I guess you can't have any booze on the beach. I don't know if that's at every beach.
Well, neglecting your kids is illegal
That
too,
is a big one too. But they thought they were getting arrested because of the drinking. They didn't realize, it's because we haven't been paying any attention to our kids and we were passed out. So yes, they face this charge of child neglect, alcohol possession, and attempting to escape custody.
I think most public beaches are like that, right?
Yeah.
Where you're not supposed to technically have alcohol out there. I mean,
so.
As long as you don't get out of hand, most places won't bother you too much, Sneak a couple brewskis in or something.
And that's what your good old Stanley Cups are for.
Well, there is that.
Fill her up. But yeah, there is one point, Jason mentioned it when we did What the Florida earlier, where the guy does get up and he was trying to flee the cops and he ends up stumbling over and giving himself a black eye.
Face plant. I love it.
Yeah, face plant. And then
karma, we call it.
Finally here in your What the Florida, Vero Beach. What's up, 1017 World? Maybe you might know these 2 people. Arnold Mackey, 7 years old, and he had himself a younger woman that day, April White, 44. They were confronted by a deputy. Yeah.
Good for him.
And the reason why is because they were getting a bunch
Franny, I have
of
a
phone
question
calls.
for you. I'm sorry
Sure,
to interrupt.
go right ahead.
You're not far from 44. Could you imagine?
I'm not 42 yet, but you're in.
Could you imagine? I'm not far from 44 either.
Yes, no.
No, there's Jimmy. Just the other side of it.
Could I imagine getting on with 7-year-old?
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'm good.
All right. So we got a special case here.
We do have a special case here. Listen, some people like their guys older. Some people like their women older. I always say to each their own. Just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But
come on, Martha.
Hey. You know what? He's got a good point. She looks fantastic for an octogenarian.
Damn right she does.
There could be some 7-year-olds that I might. How old is my dude? Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's up there yet. He's definitely in his 60s.
60s, maybe.
Oh, he's 71.
Is he really? Well,
All right,
there you
look,
go.
I take it back.
You answered the question.
Take it back.
All right. right.
Take it back. So they are getting it on in the grass in front of a Popeyes, and it's right there adjacent from US Highway 1. I'm sure you're familiar with this Popeyes in Vero Beach. And they said, I love this. They're like, they were making a thrusting motion while on top of April. Arnold was. That thrusting motion. What's that? When the cops showed up, he appeared to be very flustered. And because of it, I think he was caught off guard. He wasn't able to fully pull his shorts up when they were asked to pull up your pants, leaving his penis fully exposed to oncoming traffic, claiming she had done nothing wrong. They said that, she was struggling with the cops. Not only that, she called him names she shouldn't have. He tried to restrain her. He was like, she smelled super boozy. I mentioned this before because I love the way that they put this. He was like, she was escorted to the ground where at the time police found 4 empty bottles of vodka and 1 unopened bottle of rum. And we can only hope for her sake because she would have alcohol poisoning that they were nips.
It has to be
right?
the airline bottles. You're
or the
absolutely
little,
right.
Or the
yeah.
little plastics that you can get at the liquor store. I don't know
Could
how much
be.
that's in there.
Even that, though.
It's still a
That's quite a bit.
It is.
To
Yeah.
still be standing and performing that type of act.
Yeah. Well, they were not standing. They were
Well,
doing
true.
yes.
Yeah, true.
Was it the horizontal mambo? They said that people were calling 911 being like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. I had to do a double take. One witness said that she saw the female legs spread open while the guy is doing something to her, not with his penis. They gave full on detail of what was going on. This is 2:00 in the afternoon.
Popeyes, not Taco Bell.
Exactly. They don't serve tacos or wieners there. So after being read his rights, he was like, it wasn't his intention to expose himself. And they were like, that's not the issue, dude. You were still having sex in plain view of motorists. So they were arrested for exposure of sexual organs, which is just a misdemeanor. I'm surprised by that. And the woman was also charged with resisting arrest and disorderly intoxication. And that is your What the Florida.
Jimmy at realradio921.com is the email address to get into the penthouse. We have, this was sent in to us. There are 2 methods for distinguishing male from female penguins. 1, hand both a jar of pickles. Whichever one opens it is the male. Really?
Interesting.
I didn't think they could do that with their wings, but maybe I guess so.
I didn't know that either.
They don't have
That's
opposable thumbs.
That's
so
interesting.
I question the validity of this email, Franny.
Oh, you think there might be some shenanigans
A
here?
little bit. No,
All right.
nobody listening to
Well,
us would ever give us emails with shenanigans.
Apparently, the other method is to send both up a hill, each with $1.25. Whoever comes down with $2.50 is the female. Sounds like
that
Andrew
actually
Dice.
sounds legit.
It sounds like an Andrew Dice
Does.
Clay poem.
That does. That sounds legitimate. So I tease this because you had the story, Jimmy. Taylor Swift is really making the earth shake. And this is according to people that have been in the area, San Francisco in particular. I believe they were talking about her concert there.
Yes. Ever heard of a Swift quake? Well, apparently that is a real thing. The energy of 70,000 Swifties at a Taylor Swift Eras concert in Los Angeles back in August caused earthquake-like tremors, or as they call them, Swift quakes. I keep wanting to go Swift cakes, but Swift quakes. These were caused not by the volume of the music, but by the grooving of the Swifties to said music. A team of
So it was their dancing. It wasn't their yelling and screaming.
the amount of dancing and moving around and everything
Caused seismic activity.
caused seismic activity. Now, when you hear the numbers, it's not obviously earthquake stuff, but it is enough to register. In reality, a team of researchers recorded vibrations from motion sensors set up inside and near SoFi Stadium, and they were able to detect 43 of the 45 songs she performed. Here are the top 5 songs that caused the biggest Swift quakes, and their
So this is the one that makes you want to get out of your seat and start dancing.
Number 5.
Shake It Off has got to be on there.
It is, and number 5 was I get hers. I don't know all these songs. The only one I know is number 1. You just mentioned it. Shake It Off was number 1. That registered a 1.798 on their scale. You Belong to Me was number 2, 1.796. Love Story at 1.76, and again, not numbers for earthquakes, but it goes to show how much her audiences really get into it. Not even a Metallica concert has strong seismic activity. One of the researchers think it's because their concerts don't have choreographed dancing, and metal fans have headbang.
Pretty
right?
true. Pretty true.
So that does make sense. I've also heard the same about Garth Brooks concerts too. That one of them at what's the name of the stadium where LSU plays? He had one there that apparently that caused some sort of maybe a Garth quake, if you want to call it that.
Or friends in low places.
I can see that causing a Garth quake.
But for there, it's like over 100,000 fans are at a stadium like that. So that, I mean, again, it just goes to show how big of a following she has and what that group can do at one of her concerts. So it doesn't surprise me.
So they call it, it's I've seen, I'm looking at the stadium where LSU plays, and I guess it's not just Garth. It might just be just the way it's set up, because they have a list of earthquake games. And these are relationships between seismology and college football. And that stadium where LSU, it was Auburn and LSU playing, and they said that it caused a hell of a tremor there.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard the same. Is it the 49ers? Who is it? Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's Levi Stadium. I think they're in San Jose, just south of San Francisco. Yeah.
And that's where Taylor Swift was playing?
This was in LA.
SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.
SoFi, got it.
Yeah.
That stadium looks so cool.
It doesn't it?
I want to go.
Yeah, you want to talk about engineering?
Yeah.
Whoever designed that one is probably doing pretty well. I think they're probably making more than $90,000 a year.
There's another stadium
it's beautiful by the outside, but again, in a very bad area.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do
From
something.
what they say.
You talk about stadiums that are seismic in nature, and then you talk about stadiums that are loud in nature. Seattle is supposedly the Seahawks stadium, supposedly one of the loudest stadiums in the league. And every year, I mean, the tailgate crew, we pick an away game, and I think Seattle is where the Dolphins will be playing. One of the away games that the Dolphins are going to be playing. I think we're going to try and do Seattle this year, just because I want to experience that loud ass stadium.
For college, I've heard FSU. I've heard great things about that stadium, including it being very loud.
Except for it's FSU, and FSU sucks.
Oh, well,
Go
there's
Gators.
that. Yeah. Well, there goes that. Those fans.
Just piss it off.
I'm just triggering everyone today, aren't I? Yeah.
Why not?
What the hell? That's what happens here on Real
Welcome
Radio.
to Real Radio.
Yep, that's what happens. So speaking of that, and then we'll get off of our pop culture talk, but her man, Travis Kelce, I did see this.
Hurricanes suck too, by the way.
He is in the mix.
Hey now.
But I'm a fan due to marriage, and we're not in the same conference, so that's okay. I can say go Canes. But he's in talks, Travis Kelce, to host Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
I heard about this.
Is this real?
Yeah, my wife was telling me about this last night, and I'm like, you know what? You couldn't have picked a bigger dolt. I mean, this guy, he looks like he could not be smarter than a fifth grader. I like his attitude.
Yes, he's fun.
You know, he's a fun guy, but he reminds me of Dieter on Rover's Morning Glory a lot. Just a nice guy, but just dumb as a box of rocks.
Now, it was Jeff Foxworthy that used to host this, correct?
Yeah, he did it. Yep.
And I don't know if there was anybody else in the mix, but it looks like it's going to be, of course, a reboot and picked up by Amazon Prime, and they're going to be doing it. So, yeah, he's in talks to do Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? According to two people familiar in the matter, sources, of course.
Sources
The sources, if signed, would represent the football's latest move towards what he wants to do, general entertainment.
Right.
They said he kind of caught that little bug after SNL, which he did very well on. If you haven't watched it, he did.
He's got a great personality.
Yes. And Catching Kelsey, which was the reality series he did. It was a dating show where people are trying to hook up with him. And then, of course, the podcast that he hosts with his brother, Jason.
Who just won a podcast from the iHeartRadio Podcast Awards.
Podcast of the year. Yes, podcast of the year. So, so he's got a bit of the celebrity acting. He's a celebrity in his own right, but the acting bug.
Do you watch it?
I'm not surprised.
No.
So I think one of the things about Jeff Foxworthy when he was hosting is how endearing he was, especially to the kids that were there.
Sure.
I mean, he's such an overall, I don't want to call him a nice guy, but you just feel like he can walk up and just shake his hand. And
Country Mr. Roger.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
type thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that his interactions with the kids especially made it very, very, very good. I don't know that Travis Kelce's got that. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
So it did return, and that's how I'm curious to see. And I know this guy is very good with children. In fact, he does a ton, more than anybody else for Make-A-Wish, John Cena.
Yeah.
So they said it was on for 3 seasons with Jeff Foxworthy.
Okay.
Then it left. Then it returned back to Fox for 4 seasons. Or no, they said then it migrated to the new version, Paramount Global's Nickelodeon, and that's when it was hosted by John Cena.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So now gone, and now they're going to reboot it, bring it back at what they're saying with Travis Kelce. But it's not the first time athletes host a game show. Michael Strahan does the $100,000 pyramid.
Right.
Yep. Peyton Manning has hosted what they call a retooled version of College Bowl 2, which is on NBC and Peacock.
Sure. Well, they have outstanding personality,
They
so
do.
it makes sense. I could see why both of them, and we'll see. Maybe Travis has it. You know, I mean, you never know until you start seeing it. If he did very well with Saturday Night Live, that's a good barometer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you host that and you do a couple minutes worth, you get some. You know, I'm sure some of the jokes are written for him, and he just has to deliver it. You know, like when it's one of your first times, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Well, so we'll see. Maybe he'll do pretty well.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is I'm not smarter than a fifth grader.
I know. Sometimes I watch the show and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I used to watch it. There's just no way that those are fifth grade questions. No way.
I mean, fifth grade was a long time ago. It was.
I think if you got to put it in context, these fifth graders, it's top of mind for them because they are just learning it.
Yep.
We're so far removed from it,
And
we've
they're
forgotten.
picking the most intelligent out of the fifth graders.
Of course,
too.
yeah.
I would imagine that.
They
Yep.
are.
Mhm.
So speaking of shows, this is something I never hopped onto, but I know when Facebook probably initially came out, it was Angry Birds and it was Candy Crush. Did you guys ever play
right.
Candy Crush?
No.
It was huge though.
Yeah, my mom got into Candy Crush. I
Yes.
played Angry Birds for a minute.
Is it Candy Crush kind of like not like a Tetris, but almost like a Tetris of
Sure.
fruit?
Yeah,
the candy?
Tetris-esque, sure.
Did you ever play it, Jimmy?
I thought the idea is what you got to do. It's one of the 3 in a row type of games,
Oh,
right?
is it okay?
Never
no,
played
I'm
it.
asking because I don't know.
I never played it.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I know it was extremely popular. I just never really gamed that much on my computer, especially on Facebook.
Sure.
But it was a way for people to get to know each other and play games, and you could meet people from across the world if you wanted to. But they said that they are going to be doing, it's called Candy Crush All-Stars. It's a tournament set to be the world's largest casual mobile gaming tournament in history.
There you go.
Yep, the maker of it said the stakes are higher than ever in this year's All-Stars tournament, with the prize pot quadrupling to $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Not bad.
Holy smokes.
They said this is an epic prize, comes with an even more epic live final. This year's, after a month-long tournament, 10 players will be invited to battle it out at the live final in Los Angeles. And what is so fascinating to me is that people will show up to this. People love watching people play games.
For sure. I
My
mean,
niece does it.
Just look at what do they call it? E-games and esports.
Yes.
That is
Sure.
blowing up, and it's just literally a buddy of a collective friend of ours. His wife is on e-games all the time and just makes a killing just watching people. What is it? Twitch.
Yes.
Twitch is a big
Twitch
deal.
is it.
That was the
Uh-huh.
one that I was just going to say. I mean, it pretty much made Twitch,
Right.
right? I mean, that's what it was made for, was just to watch other people play video games.
I would rather play the game than watch somebody else
too.
play it. Like, I don't get it.
I remember
But they
seeing my
don't-
niece at 5 years old, and I'm like looking at her little tablet, and I'm like, "What are you watching?" She's like, "Oh, I'm watching people play video games." I was like, "Why?"
Now, if you're trying to master and beat a game and you're
Maybe.
following somebody or watching somebody that's kind of giving you the clues, the tips, and the tricks to do it, that I understand. But just sitting there for the entertainment of watching somebody else play a game, I don't get it.
One does lead to the other. My daughter loved it when I would would play Call of Duty, or I had a Mafia game that I would play. It was based on Godfather 2, the movie itself. And she would sit and I'd play for hours and she'd watch for hours because she just enjoyed doing that.
Right.
And eventually she started to play, but she still watches with the other gamers, right? And especially the ones that are online games, like, you know, that you're playing other people.
Like
online,
Red Dead
right.
Redemption and things like that, sure. I
But
mean,
even Call of Duty has a version of that. I forget what it's called.
I haven't played a game in so long.
But it's, you know, then they just, and they love that. And
I'm so lame. I'm like, I have a Wii. Like, that's all I have, and Matt was going to give it away. And I was like, no. I was like, eventually I'm going to start playing golf and tennis again, or bowling. But that is the last gaming system that we purchased for our house.
I think the last game that I played was God of War 2. And that would have been PS2, and that probably would have been like early 2000s.
Oh, that is going back then.
And
Yeah,
that's
PS2,
it, man.
yeah.
Like, I don't even have a gaming console in my house. I mean, I have the old.
I still got an Xbox One.
Yeah, I never had an Xbox. I had a PS2. I gave that away. I still have my original NES from way back in the day, and all the games, and I have the original Atari, or Atari rather. But it's all at my brother's house.
Yeah, but if
Because
you
he actually plays that crap still.
Still does?
Yeah.
If you think you are a Candy Crush All-Star, it's free to enter, open to anyone over 18 years of old, and you have to reach level 25 and above. I do not know what that means, but the event will be available 21 markets around the world. So go win that tournament, score yourself $1 million, shall I say, and you have the airwaves here to brag about it on Real Radio. Speaking of Real Radio, we have one more trifecta coming your way. And then, on a Wednesday, we do something called WWGD. We're doing it this time. We're going to switch it up a little bit, though. Since we have two J's in here, it's going to be WWJD.
Okay.
Where you send us your emails. And you're just looking for some advice. It could be about work. It could be about a relationship. It could be about gambling. Whatever it is, you can always send us emails. Jimmy@realradio921.com. And we'll get into those on the other side on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
They're trying to get rid of hotel bathtubs, and I just can't stand for it.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't take your side.
Sealand, you've used a hotel bathtub before. I've seen it. Wait.
The News Junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
You'll find a bit of a slowdown traveling 95 through Lake Worth. Accident now off to the right shoulder. It's 95 south at 10th Avenue North. Our drive times up to speed if you're on the turnpike throughout the Palm Beaches. That's traffic. I'm Judy Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Fresh from Florida.
Meal planning is work, so let Fresh from Florida help. Learn what's in season, browse hundreds of recipes, and get tips from Chef Justin by visiting freshfromflorida.com. Eat healthier with Fresh from Florida. There's sunshine in every bite.
Hey, it's a Greek. When I like something, I don't change. I like brunettes for a long time. I'm wearing Armani since I'm 12, and I'm a Yankee fan. And I found my favorite cigar, and it's Vega Fina. Take it from your boy. I love the way it smokes, and I enjoy it. After a tough day, you know my life's tough, it's Vega Fina. If I don't know who to bet in a game, I go with a Vega Fina. It clears my mind. And at the track, I love winning on long shots and smoking a Vega Fina. Vega Finas can be purchased at Casa Monte Cristo and Boca Raton. Puff, puff, baby. Peace.
Embark on a journey through the most absurd moments of the human story with Ridiculous History, the podcast that explores the bizarre corners of human existence, like the evolution of the toilet, the story of Comic Sans, or the exploits of the notorious Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr is like, one day, my life is going to be part of a musical.
However, though, he probably didn't necessarily at this point think that he was going to be the villain.
Listen to Ridiculous History on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Business. It's not a 9-to-5 proposition. It's all day and into the night. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these businesses is a partner like Comcast Business helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide. All these businesses choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business. From Main Street to Wall Street, our people are powering the businesses that power it all. So when you're ready to unlock what's possible for your business, there's no one better to answer the call. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Injured on the job? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anna Jar Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Glenn Levine, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. Do you have an idea for an invention or new product and don't know what to do next? Inventors. InventHelp can help you get started with your idea. Call 1-800-INVENTION or go to inventhelp.com to get your free inventors information. They can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. Get started with your idea today at inventhelp.com. InventHelp is the leading invention service company. With offices nationwide, they've been helping inventors since 1984. Inventors receive more than 10,000 patents through their patent referral services. Don't wait to get started with your idea. For free information, contact your friends at InventHelp. Go to inventhelp.com or call 1-800-INVENTION. That's inventhelp.com or call 1-800-INVENTION. They help everyday inventors just like you. Additional services include invention websites, prototype models, technical drawings, and more. They keep your idea confidential and explain every step of their invention services. Remember, that's InventHelp.com. InventHelp.com.
News Junkie is sponsored by FAMU's Mary. Educate, learn, talk.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, it's the Greek for Jason Weiser, my attorney. Whether you were injured due to a car accident or a medical malpractice issue, a slip and fall, or any kind of injury due to a fault of another, their team can help you. Board-certified personal injury attorneys. They can help you determine the responsibility party and pursue the damages and justice you deserve. Contact them at 561-689-8180, 561-689-8180. No fees unless they win. Jason Weiser, my attorney for over 20 years.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
HOA and condo board members, it pays to have fiber. Let Blue Stream Fiber show you how fiber internet provides revenue for communities while saving up to 50% off retail rates. Visit bluestreamfiber.com/radio to find out more.
Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are going to stay clear and sunny as we go through the remainder of our Wednesday. It's a cool and comfortable afternoon as well. Temperatures near the mid-70s today. Still a couple degrees below average for this time of year. We're going to stay dry and sunny again for your Thursday, near 79 degrees tomorrow, and then our next weather maker moves in on Friday, and it brings more rain to start the weekend.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Come to Audible and discover the best selection of audiobooks without exception. Bestsellers, new releases, plus podcasts and exclusive Audible originals. You'll find everything you love all in one place. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
The Lombardi may have been lifted, but that doesn't mean there's no football to talk about. It's the offseason, and there's no better way to stay up to date with the latest from our league than with the Around the NFL podcast for news and fresh content all offseason long. From the start of free agency, where we'll break down familiar faces headed to new places, to the next generation of superstars walking across that stage at the NFL draft, listen to the Around the NFL podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Heed the call.
Presented by T-Mobile for Business. Now is the time for 5G Business.
Greek's Trifecta is sponsored by the physicians at MMJ Health.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for hanging out with us throughout the Penthouse. You've been here since 10 o'clock. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for doing that. We really, really appreciate you tuning in. This is Franny. Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Good afternoon.
And our special guest in the Penthouse all week long is Jason. Hi, Jason.
If you've been here since 10 o'clock, God bless you. That's what you say
I
to them?
did,
They
yes.
should be lucky and feel graced that we have blessed them with our presence today. What are you talking about?
You're right. What am I talking about?
Hi, I'm Jason. I am the
Yes.
co-host of the Jason and
Yes.
Franny Morning Show on 98.7 The Gator. Thanks for letting me hang out with you today on
And
the
he,
Penthouse.
He
I do
just couldn't
appreciate
get enough. He was like, I want to hang
Yeah,
out with
okay.
you and Jimmy
Jesus, this woman.
for another 4 hours.
More hours. 4
And I'm
more
gonna do
hours.
it again.
Yeah.
4 more hours.
Tomorrow, and I'm going to do it again the next day. He was like, I am? Yep, you are. And you can always participate with us like you are in this segment we're going to have after the trifecta, because that's where you email us, Jimmy at realradio921.com, and you're emailing us your problems that hopefully we can solve. We'll get into that after this trifecta.
Riders up. It's Creek's Trifecta.
Well, let's buzz right through it so we can get to your problems. The New York Jets signed former Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Mike
Not my
Williams this
Jets.
week. The New Jersey Jets,
Yeah.
that has a maximum value of $15 million.
It's a huge get.
The Jets went into free agency looking to upgrade at the position opposite Garrett Wilson, a 100 or 1,000-yard receiver in each of his first 2 seasons. Williams leads the NFL with 15.8 yards per reception among players with at least 200 catches. If you want a little McCon or McGregor in your life, well, he might be coming this summer. McGregor did not specify a date, but he wants to fight Michael Chandler in a UFC fight. He swears it's going to happen. This rumor's been going on since February of 2023. He claims that it's possible that maybe the UFC International Fight Week on June 29th would be when it would happen. We'll have to see. In college hoops, if you are ready for March Madness, there was a little bit last night, got a little bit more tonight. And then your 64-team madness will start on Thursday. In men's college hoops last night, Colorado State upended Virginia 67-42, and Wagner edged out Howard 71-68. Tonight's games are Grambling. They are taking on Montana, and Colorado takes on Boise State. And that is your final trifecta of the day.
Thank you so very much, Jimmy. And we do have a text quickly because we mentioned John Cena. Have you guys seen this flick? Because they say you got to. It's comedy gold. Said if you're a fan of John Cena, you have to watch Ricky Stenicki. Have
Ricky
you seen
Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki? It is on Netflix. I have seen the trailer for it. It does look very funny, but I have not watched it.
Can we talk about that?
It
or
does sound
something?
familiar,
What-
maybe in the
I think there was
past.
something about it that we mentioned. Maybe
Yeah.
he came up when we were talking about his stint on the Oscars where he came out
Maybe.
naked and did that whole bit.
Yeah, our dude Tony is saying you will not regret it if you
Well,
watch it.
All right.
So thank you for the
Cool.
heads up.
Always up for a recommendation.
Me too. And before we get into it, how about we talk about this great event that we're going to be happening on April 13th?
Tastings?
Yes, this is an iHeartRadio family event. Some of your favorites are going to be there, and I'm talking about iHeartRadio personalities. And it's not about us. It's about the unlimited samples of
No, let's make it
food.
about us, Franny. We're all going to be out there, and you've been clamoring to hang out with us all year long. Now's your opportunity.
No, this is about the food.
Oh.
It's about the wine. It's about the craft beer. It's about the spirits.
Yep. It's always about what gets in your mouth.
And if you're
Food-
lucky, it could be
food,
us.
Good food and drink. Oh, wow.
Depending on how boozed up we get.
No, seriously, it's a great.
I should leave Carla home? She was going to come this time.
No, take her with you. She's a good time.
Great event, unlimited samples of food, wine, craft beer, spirits from the area's finest establishments. We're talking, the Cooper, Tijuana
Yes.
Flats,
Yes,
Slow
yes,
and Low
yes.
Barbecue.
Auntie Trisha's Bahamian Food, Giovanni's. That's who I get my my pizza dough from when I do pizzas at home
Oh,
for
really?
my husband. It's so good. Nothing but cakes if you want some sweetness in your mouth. And if you like Mexican, we got Talkin' Tacos and at Tijuana Flats, as you mentioned. It's going to be a great time. But it's not just a food; it's a booze.
Hello, BJ's Restaurant.
Oh, your
and
fave!
Brew House. It's right
where
out
you're
front.
Yeah, you're going to find Jimmy there after the fact. He said he's going to be hanging out there.
Yeah, probably. We'll grab some dinner there.
Absolutely.
afterwards.
Come join us April 13th. Tastings it at Tanger Outlets right here, Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. pbtastings.com for information and tickets. pbtastings.com. That's pbtastings.com.
Get your tickets now. Okay, I highly recommend it because the sooner you get them, the cheaper it's going to be. The
That's
advance
right,
tickets, if you wait, they might go up in price. And we have a opportunity to score VIP tickets. You can purchase those, get in an hour earlier, and enjoy all the unlimited goodness before everybody else does. That's pbtastings.com. Now, yes, this is the time where we get into your emails. Specifically, you email Jimmy at realradio921.com, and you are seeking advice about love, work, whatever it could be. You think that the Penthouse can get you on the right path. This is WWJD. What would Greek do?
Get ready for WWGD. What would Greek do?
And we love that you guys are here with us too, always.
Can you believe people ask this guy for advice?
And if you play a trick on somebody, play a trick.
I mean, really?
Yeah, spin the jam.
Seriously?
It is a trifecta coming back at you. Spin and control, spin and control.
It's WWGD.
What? I know. Yep. And we do. We miss our little buddy. He'll be back with us next week. So hopefully we give you good enough advice. And if you're like, I didn't want to hear from you guys, you can always email us again the same thing, and then we'll get back to it next week. But we got Jason, Jimmy, and my 2 cents here, and we're going to start off with Rochelle. So Rochelle writes in, and Rochelle says her family has a bit of a reputation in her hometown. She says for being uncouth.
Oh.
And both of my siblings were constantly in trouble when we were kids and a little bit younger with the law when I was growing up. So after college, she moved as far away as she could from her family.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. And she was like, I found a good job in a decent-sized city here in South Florida. She said, but she lives in a smaller town. Her job's in like a medium-sized city, lives in a smaller town, not far from her work. And she says that she's worked pretty damn hard to build a reputation as a trustworthy member of the community.
Okay.
Not like her crazy family, right? So unfortunately, her mom passed away, and now her sister wants to move closer to her. And she was like, I don't mind if she moves near me, but I really don't want her too close to where I live now. So she's saying, how can I steer her into another area? Like, she doesn't want her to be her neighbor or that. She's like, so she doesn't mess up all the work I've done to what she calls being a respected member of her community. How can she tell sis, like, yeah, you can come into the vicinity, just not too close?
Without specifics, I mean, I would be interested to know what part of town she's in. If she lives in like Boca, or she lives in Gardens, or whatever.
Because Palm Beach County is very big.
Yes, it's also very expensive. Property values here are very expensive, and the cost of living here it's pretty expensive. You go out for a night on the town, it's going to be a bit more than it would be in neighborhoods to the north, technically. So that's the angle that I would suggest for her. If she's looking to say, all right, I don't want my sister to not come down here, I just don't want her spoiling my good reputation by being down here, suggest a community that's a little bit distant, but not so distant that she'll pick up on the fact that you're trying to keep her at a distance.
Like, let's say you live in a Jupiter or Palm Beach Gardens. This does, Rochelle does. And even just for affordability. And it's blowing up. It's getting ready. Why don't you check out Port St. Lucie?
PSL, Fort Pierce, Indian River County even. Just skip right over Martin County, though. Seriously,
I'm sorry. No, not Palm City. What am I thinking of? Palm Bay.
Oh, Palm Bay. Yeah, a great example. And that's a fun community, and it's ever expanding, just like St. Lucie County. There's a lot of opportunity. And the reality is, yes, it is a bit more affordable. You can get some new home prices that are a little bit less expensive than you can in Palm Beach County or Martin County. You can find existing home prices that are a bit more fair. The property taxes, the cost of living, not going to be nearly that.
Yep. And you can keep your distance for the most part.
Yeah.
But if you want to see each other, it's not too terrible of a drive.
Exactly. I mean, if she lives in Palm Beach County and you're going to want to send her south, it's going to be more expensive. You go down into Dade, especially if you're looking, towards the South Beach area or whatever. I don't know what their spending situation is, but I mean, reality is it's not cheap to live in Florida anymore, and that could be the angle to keep her at a distance, but a close distance. So I think that that's the best angle here.
Not a bad.
Either that, or you just tell her that we're full and not
Florida's
to come down.
full. That's what everybody says. Quit coming here.
I mean, that's the reality.
What do you think, Jimmy? Do you agree? Anything you want to add?
I'd fake your death. So that way,
that poor girl. She's like, Mom just died, and now my sister's dead.
Yeah, I mean, then chances of her moving near you are slim to none. Or either that, or wait till she moves and then you move.
Right.
Again, I think the affordability angle is pretty good. But that's something that you would kind of know of with us not knowing like
where
how much she makes or what she does, to where if she's going to move in the area, is she bringing her job, or how far away are you moving from? Where are they from? Did it say, Franny?
It doesn't
say,
originally.
yeah.
So,
No.
I mean, we may be moving 2 towns or 2 states. We don't know.
It sounds like
that,
states.
so-
The way that she was like, I wanted to move as far away as I could. She might be
So-
across the country.
Yeah, I would think that as well. So
Uh-huh.
if she's going to come to this area, I mean, I'd obviously, if you're relocating, you got to get a new job and everything. So, yeah, playing that off that
Yeah.
way is not a bad idea. I
And
think that's
also,
pretty good.
But there's also the urban sprawl component that you can throw in there. I mean, if she's coming from more maybe of a rural area, which it sounds like maybe that's the case. Her sister being from a more rural area, hey, it's big, it's bustling, it's busy, and everybody wants to bitch about the traffic down here. Okeechobee, it's a beautiful part of
Polk County's great.
Exactly, these are beautiful parts of
We
Florida.
never talk about them in What the Florida,
Right,
Polk County.
Never.
I mean, they're great locations, right? There's not as much hustle and bustle as it is here in Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast.
Where the uncouth go. Polk
Very
County.
true. That should be their slogan, their motto.
Say hi to Grady.
All right. Well, good luck, Rochelle. Next up, we have Carrie who writes in, and my roommate of 3 years moved out at the end of the year, and I placed an ad to find a new roommate. Hey, maybe she can take her sister.
There
It's
you go.
Rochelle.
There you go.
Says, I had a few responses and had a couple of interviews and chose my new roommate from the applicants after we went out for some drinks and had a kind of like a get to know. So she seemed really nice, low key. It's professional with a job in finance. But since she's moved in at the beginning of last month, it's been nothing but drama. She has this deadbeat boyfriend who she always is on the rocks with. She gets drunk multiple times a week and is a massive slob. I need to figure a way to get rid of her like yesterday, she said. We have a lease agreement, so I can't just kick her out. So how can I get her to want to move out on her own? Is there a way to get her to come to the decision of her own? Like it's her idea that she needs to move out.
How long is the lease?
I'm guessing it's a year, but I don't know. But maybe you need to become the roommate from hell for her. Switch roles.
That was the first thing I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Just start like getting some really stinky cheese or something that would be unpleasant.
Yeah.
That maybe some bad habits of your own. that
Stuff
kind
the
of go that
seafood
way.
and the curtain rods in her bedroom, and she's like, God, why does my room smell so bad? She can't figure it out.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but something along those lines, a version of it, I mean, what else do you do other than sitting down and going, listen, we got to have some house rules here.
Yeah.
You took my mindset.
You run with it.
No, the brutal honesty. I mean, realistically is, hey, what you presented when you moved into this place versus what is actually happening now are two polar opposites. You need to get back into a position where you were before, or we're going to have a serious problem. And just be brutally honest about it.
Yeah, and the nice thing too, this isn't like a lifelong friend, right?
No.
I mean, because that's when it makes it, to me, that would be even harder.
More difficult.
Right? If this was somebody that you grew up with and you were best friends forever, and then now you're finding it difficult to be a roommate with that type of a person. This is a stranger to you. Be brutally honest. Let them know that these are the rules, and
You are stuck in a lease agreement. So, I mean, she could be like, screw you, I'm staying. So you just have to be prepared for that. And then maybe that's when you put the fish in the curtain
And when
rod.
I say brutal, I love the vindication. I love it. But when I say brutal, honesty, with tact, and maybe just honesty. You don't want to be a dick about it.
Because you still have to deal with each other.
You still have to live with this person, and you still have to, deal with the shenanigans that have to come about of all of that. So I would be honest with her and be like, hey, we need to address the elephant in the room. You might not see the elephant, but I'm telling you there's an elephant there.
Yeah,
Here's what it is.
And she's a slob.
Yeah, and let's work on this. If not, then I would have a backup plan and be ready to break your own lease and find another place to live.
Start watching porn.
Yeah,
On
really
like
loudly.
volume 10.
Yes, in the living room.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck to
Carrie.
you. And then finally, we got a couple minutes. We'll try to squeeze Brian in. And Brian's parents, this is weird, okay? So his parents started to attend a new church a little over a year ago.
All right.
And he says they've always been religious. Even when I was a kid, we would hop around to different churches. So they never really had a church that they felt they belonged to, but were always religious. So this new church is an independent, non-denominational, which I know there's a bunch of those around.
Right.
And this one's only been around for a few years. I'm trying to guess which one it is. My parents really took to the pastor, and now they've completely shut like everyone out of their lives that aren't part of the church. They say it's also they've been giving a lot of money to the church too, and it's starting to affect their finances. So I said something to them about my concerns. And since then, they've been acting differently towards me. He says, I don't know if there's like a government agency out there that can help, but I think this church is kind of a cult, and it's got my parents hooked. They think that, they just sunk their claws into them, and now their parents have totally shut everybody out of their life and putting all their money into the church. So Brian was like, I don't know what to do. If you know, can anyone help me to get my parents out of this? He feels like it's a problem.
Start going to that church.
Just to see what it's about?
You won't know until you find out.
Right,
True.
right. See for yourself exactly what is going on, and if there is some sort of a brainwashing or
because there is a thing we have heard this where there are unfortunate circumstances where there are churches that they are out to make money, and they take a lot of your money, and people want to put their trust and their beliefs into this, and so unfortunately it can happen. But
there could be even more nefarious things going on as far as I don't want to say drugging, but or something along those lines, some way that they're influencing them in a very, very weird way. Yeah. I would definitely. That's a great piece of advice right there.
Go there.
Go see what's going on.
Yeah, and don't let them. I wouldn't. This isn't necessarily being disingenuous. I would say because he did qualify that he's also a religious person too, and if his family's happy, that's the angle that I would take in this scenario. Hey, Mom and Dad, I see how happy you are with this church. I'm kind of interested in seeing what they have to offer, and maybe it might be something that I like too. Would you mind if I spent some quality time and went to church with you? Boy, you could take that angle. And
you have to, because he already said that he voiced his concerns, and he could be like, you know what, that was unfair of me to do before seeing what you guys see.
Right. Yeah, and tell them that exactly what she just said, and say, I see how happy you guys are with this church group, and I want to see if it works and fits my world. And start going with them and suss it out yourself.
Take pictures, record things.
Yeah.
Well, and
whatever is fishy.
And maybe whatever happened to them, careful, doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The worst could suck you in too.
The worst thing that happens is it sucks you in and they suck you dry too.
Then you're broke.
Yeah. But at least you're broke as a family, right?
Exactly. I think that's pretty good advice. But I definitely want to know, Brian, if you go investigating, please keep in touch. Jimmy at realradio921.com, and that same goes to Carrie and, of course, Rochelle. Let us know. We love updates here.
Yeah, we hardly ever get them, and that's one of the things that
because they're probably like,
stinks,
that was terrible advice. My life is over. WWGD, we always do that on a Wednesday after the final trifecta. And speaking of the final, it is the finale, of the Penthouse.
No.
I know it. It's always sad when this happens, but guess what? You still get to hear a little bit more because we have another hour of the Penthouse. And if you're missing G-Man, you'll probably hear his voice on that. And then, of course, we have the news junkie, Rover's Morning Glory, of course, in the morning as well. And then 10 o'clock, we are back at it at the Penthouse. Jimmy, thank you so much for all of your hard work.
Well, thank you very much, Francis. Jason, always a pleasure working with you, buddy.
You got it,
and
man.
Have yourself a great afternoon.
Yes, and Jason, it's been fun. 8 hours is not enough.
Boy, that tongue is just piercing right through the side of your
I'm just
cheek
kidding.
right there.
I have a good time. It's been fun. And I think a lot of people are enjoying you being here, too.
Yeah, if you enjoy it, give us a listen during Rover's commercial breaks. Click on over 98.7 The Gator, Jason and Franny mornings every single weekday morning.
There you go. And then, as we mentioned, get yourself those tickets to our tastings event. Unlimited food, wine, craft beer, live music, all the details. And where you can purchase your tickets is pbtastings.com. All right, you guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow, same time, same place. Adios.
Station that all the other radio stations listen to. You're welcome. Real Radio 92.1.
Experience the best of the Palm Beaches cuisine in one amazing location. Experience the flavors of unlimited samples paired with exquisite wines and craft beers. Experience the fun of live entertainment and VIP perks. The Tastings Food, Wine, and Craft Beer event is back Saturday, April 13th at Tanger Outlets Palm Beach. Taste the Palm Beaches for only $40. Want to be a VIP and get in an hour early? VIP tickets are just $50. Get your tickets now at pbtastings.com. That's pbtastings.com.
Here's traffic on Real Radio.
Palm Beach International Boat Show has shut down Flagler Drive. This is between Okeechobee Boulevard and Banyan. Use Quadrille instead. 95 and the Turnpike, both look good along the Palm Beaches. Drive times are up to speed. That's traffic. I'm Judy Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Verdict with Ted Cruz Podcast.
I'm Ben Ferguson.
And I'm Ted Cruz. Biden gave an angry, bitter State of the Union.
And Senator Katie Britt gave the response.
And
and the media went nuts attacking her. Katie joins us on the pod for the inside story.
So now a verdict with Ted Cruz now to hear all the details.
Hey, it's the Greek from Monroe's of Palm Beach, and this Thursday night, it's the international kickoff for the Palm Beach Boat Show. 7 to 10 in Legends Lounge. Monroe's is calling all captains, brokers, and employees to stop by for some beautiful ladies, great entertainment, and a great menu. An open bar from 7 to 10. It's Thursday night, March 21st. Make sure you stop in for Monroe's kickoff party for the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Monroe's of Palm Beach open 7